Welcome to Mibler. This is Eric Grissom.
And I'm Dan Johnson. Eric and I will be rewatching the iconic Twin Peaks from the pilot through the return and everything in between.
If this is your first time watching, or if you're a longtime fan, you can watch along with us as we dive deep into the strange and wonderful world of Twin Peaks.
We live inside a dream.
Today on Meanwhile, we are back to talk about Fire Walk With Me in a way where, of course, Dan, I'm talking about the missing pieces. Dan, the missing pieces, the deleted scenes, portion of the deleted scenes.
I didn't even know that there was such a thing as the missing pieces before we started this show. I mean, you've talked about it since, we started doing this. I didn't even know this was a thing. I had seen Fire Walk With Me. I mean, I guess I kind of, I can't even say for sure that I knew that it existed. What a revelation this is. I can't wait to talk about it. How amazing a David Lynch full 4-hour epic movie this would, or whatever it would have been. It could have been. I think you said in our previous conversation that you agree with a lot of the edits being left out. I think that's true too.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it. I think I agree with all of the edits.
What amazing stuff in here, though.
So a little housekeeping beforehand. So you would have already listened to our 2-part Fire Walk With Me discussion, which we didn't realize at the time would be 2 parts till we got 4 hours into it.
9 hours later, the sun's coming up.
Dan, so this is the missing pieces, written by Bob Engles and David Lynch, directed and edited by David Lynch. So as Mary Sweeney is the editor of Fire Walk With Me, these deleted scenes or extra scenes or extended scenes were edited by David Lynch himself. It was released in 2014, Dan, along with the Twin Peaks, the entire mystery box set. So this was a time. What a time to be alive.
Wow.
And as a Twin Peaks fan in 2014, because you'd heard about these missing pieces, or what were just called the deleted scenes from what I remember, because they shot 5 hours of Fire Walk With Me. And so, it's a pretty long movie. It's 2 hours and 14 minutes or whatever. But it was always like, oh, there's all this extra stuff that was shot and it was cut and you never got a chance to see it. And then you knew it was coming. It was coming part of that box set, Blu-ray box set. You were getting Fire Walk With Me. You were getting these missing pieces. You were getting season 1, season 2. You were getting the pilot. You were getting all the stuff that you got in the gold box, and then they were throwing in Fire Walk With Me, and then they were throwing in the missing pieces. And Dan,
Eric,
that was July. In October, they announced season 3 of Twin Peaks. Now, we'll get to that when we get to the return. There was a bit of up and down with that as well, where all of a sudden David Lynch was not involved, and then he was involved. So we'll tackle that when we do the return. But man, 2014, that was a year to be a Twin Peaks fan.
Wow. That's amazing.
5-hour shot. I'm trying to do the math. I am also not feeling well, folks. If you haven't picked up my voice, maybe a little bit off. I'm a little bit punchy, but I'm trying to do the math in my head. I'm like, they shot 5 hours. The movie's 2.5. There's still other scenes. I don't know where those scenes are. I'm assuming that they shot extra stuff that did not make the missing pieces. So maybe there's we're going to talk about Johnny Horn's birthday. I don't know if they ever shot that. There were some other things, but so we're just going to deal with these missing pieces. It premiered in a theater, which was very cool, when they did the official release, and David Lynch spoke before it.
Thank you all very much for being here tonight. There is an abundance of fish in the sea, but tonight I would like to speak about wood. There are many times in the world when the phone rings and someone is inquiring about wood. This happens primarily at lumber yards, and in this case, it is necessary to have a phone. It is only natural that trees are growing and that they are made of wood. Much happiness can come from observing a tree and the same can be said about observing the many shapes fashioned out of wood. Quite often, when we are talking about beauty, we are talking about wood. Thank you very much.
To my knowledge, like, these scenes existed. David Lynch had wanted to release them, but it was like no one would give him money to do it. And so when Showtime, they were working through this deal and they were putting this DVD together, it was like, okay, we're going to do this big Blu-ray release. And then part of the budget of that was paying David Lynch to color correct it. And, you know, because it's presented as if it's a final movie. It's how the sound and the editing and the color correcting and all of that.
Well, I will say it looks beautiful. It doesn't look like, you know, some DVD extras where it's just like, oh, they really didn't take the time to clean it. Like, it looks beautiful. The sound design's great. Yeah, this is time well spent. But so you're saying, I don't know anything about exactly what's going on, but I've heard in the conversations that you and I have had and seen online, were there some issues with like rights and ownership for this that needed to get resolved before the return started? Am I right about that? And if so, was this all part of that too?
There was, I believe there was like right stuff with this particular film that they had to work out. And so these deleted scenes, extended scenes would have fallen under that umbrella.
Okay.
Because that was a big to-do to get Fire Walk With Me in the same set as the pilot and the season 1 and season 2.
Gotcha. Okay.
So like when you bought the gold box on DVD, you had to buy Fire Walk With Me separately as a separate DVD release. So in that sense, if that's what you mean, yes.
Well, no, I don't. We're so lucky.
And what you were saying before, this is not just, I mean, everybody's watching this has seen it. You can watch it on YouTube, although it's a bit of a crime because the quality's not great. But this is not just deleted scenes thrown on a DVD. Like, it is, as I said, color corrected, edited, sound mixed, presented as a complete thought, although it's not really a standalone movie. It's more of a vibe or a feeling.
That's great. Yep.
Of Twin Peaks, which we'll get to. So let's just jump in, I guess. Let's just pull up to the side of the road, turn on the radio, cuddle with Norma, and listen to the sweet sounds of Angelo.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, Laura. Where's my axe? I'm hungry!
All right, Dan, we're starting with the scene titled Desmond's M.O. After examining Teresa Banks' body for 11 hours, Sam discusses Chet's modus operandi.
Yeah, so we get an extra scene of them, Sam and Chet, after examining Teresa's body in the morgue / dry sauna. I guess that's what it looks like. Outside the drying shed, whatever it is. It's nice to have a different. I mean, this is not the most important thing in the world, and obviously there's going to be a lot of little details that don't matter all that much. But I just like getting a different angle on where they are, orienting us, like with the geography, location of all these things. So you get this different shot of it, very static framed shot. You get a light in the foreground, the guys in the back there talking. It's more of Chet ignoring Sam's questions, which is just a running thing that happens in the movie. But it's, you know, Sam's just trying to make connections. That's how I feel about this guy. We see this later whenever we see him with Cooper too, but he's just trying to like get along, trying to get a little human interaction here. And Chet just completely ignores him and shuts him down. I feel so bad about it for him. But yeah, just a small scene, but it's just cool to see a little bit more of this. I said this when we were talking about Fire Walk With Me to begin with. I want more Sam, and I get it here, so I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, we get a couple of different scenes with Sam. Yeah, so this qualifies as an extended scene. So we got this same scene, but only like a fraction of it, where they're basically coming out after they're working on Teresa, and it's like, we gotta, where are we gonna stay? We're going to eat and whatever. And then it immediately cuts away. We linger on and they get to talk. So much effort is spent on the MO, the modus operandi. We get that. Certainly it's the name of this scene, but it's dialed in a couple of times here. Him, you're saying Sam's repeating, I didn't realize so many hours have passed. He comes off even more strange in this particular interaction than he does in all of these deleted
I was
scenes.
just going to say, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a strange character, but you really get a sense of his strangeness. One thing I forgot to mention is there is like a title sequence. So there's like this slow push into the high school trophy case where we see the portrait of Laura as homecoming queen. And you hear the sound of wind, which is wonderful. And if one detail, like in that case, right next to her picture is a shot put champion trophy sitting alongside of it. And then the title screen comes up. It's like, what you were about to see are missing pieces, deleted or extended scenes from Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. And then you hear, I think we go to trees, and then we go into the red room. And that whole like red room title sequence, it feels like, we're entering the red room to see these different parts of time that were separated from the narrative that are still existing. It's a very cool way of, I think, taking us into it.
Cool.
All right, so we're going to actually go now to Haps, where we're going to get another bit of an extended scene with Jack, Hap's night manager, as Chet and Sam question him about Teresa Banks. This is called Say Hello to Jack.
Yeah, we get a lingering shot of that neon clown that we saw previously that I really honestly didn't quite notice. You pointed it out when we were discussing the scene. So getting to see this with, it has burned out neon, and around it looks like it would have been like little rays of light shining off of it. But those are all dimmed out. The face is half in darkness, they're half crying. It's great. But we really just linger on that for quite a bit before we go into Hap's Diner. We get Jack talking about the FBI was there back in the day when Hap ran the place, but he's dead. Good and dead. Boy, Hap sounds like a great guy if even Jack doesn't like him, so I don't know what the deal is there. But yeah, I don't think there's any real other context around why the FBI was there.
Yeah, something happened in the 50s.
It was the 50s. Okay, I did remember that. Yeah.
Hap was doing some stuff. Maybe he was a member of the Communist Party. I don't know.
Well, yeah, could be. Jack does say the sheriff already questioned him and he was nice for once, which is just fantastic. Again, this whole shadow version of Twin Peaks in Deer Meadow is great. So Harry, you don't want to ever say Harry was nice for once. Harry's a great guy. We get this instead. And the joke that I still didn't quite get until I kind of really read into it, the Good Night Irene part of it, it just has a different line reading for it, the way that he says it here. It's not as emphasized in the way they says it, so it just seems like it was a different take that was used in this version of it as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so you talked about the parking lot. So in the film, we do see that exterior shot of the parking lot. Literally, the car's already there, and we cut right in. You watch Chet and Sam get out of the car, walk the entire length of the parking lot and into the door. And even on this exit of this scene, you watch Chet and Sam go into Haps, get on the stools. So it's like a much slower pace of going in and out of the thing. But it is interesting to see the exchange, the dialogue exchange between Jack and these, so you actually have context about what they're talking about. It's certainly a lot easier to follow in this, although I prefer the version that we get.
Right.
I noticed I don't think I picked up on it because everything's going crazy with the lights flashing.
Mm-hmm.
That it's like a beer bottle that is the lamp is made of a beer bottle.
Okay.
And you spend more time on it so you can see how many cigarettes are in that guy's ashtray. It's absurd. It looks like a Sarah Palmer was there as well.
That's just what I was thinking. Yep.
And it's the question, he tells them about asking Irene as whether she had any friends, whether Teresa had any friends, or you better go ask Irene. And all the emphasis that's played on this, good night, Irene, and, kind of don't tease her about it. And then when we go to the parking lot scene next, that's going to come up, which is where we're going to go, because we're going to go to the scene called Good Morning, Irene.
Mm-hmm.
After a long night drinking bad coffee, Agents Desmond and Stanley say good morning to Irene.
Yeah, this has got a great shot of those power lines. So we get that started already here. But I don't know, something about this and the way that they're all kind of coming together on that pole, and just a nice long shot of that. Something about that.
And you hear electricity as you're seeing that as well.
Always do whenever you see them. Yeah, it really plays that up in the audio. But it was just really cool. You get outside of the Hap Steiner, you get 3 older men in hats standing out there smoking. One has a bottle in a brown paper bag, kind of, I guess, passing bottles around.
Look like old-timey railroad hobos.
They do look like, I didn't want to use that term. Are we allowed to use the term?
I don't know. Is that offensive? I've been saying old-timey railroad hobos.
I like
since, Bugs Bunny was riding the rail.
They just didn't have the bindle on a stick.
If that is offensive, I apologize. It didn't even occur to me. It could be.
Maybe
it is. I don't know. I always think of like the stick.
The bindle. It's a bindle on a stick. Yeah, that's the one thing they didn't have. It's great.
Right. A little bindle on the stick post depression. So, yeah.
It's fantastic. But it also makes me think, I've seen it since the original release and watching it real time. We're going to get to it later, but it makes me think of maybe the Woodsman or stuff from The Return. They just have that kind of look of like being out of time, but also living rough, that sort of thing. I don't know. Something to think about. In the window there, you have an open sign, a help wanted sign, and then inside there's a bunch of what look like party balloons. So you got the clown sign, you got party balloons, but it's like this is the least cheerful place in the world.
Did you notice the clown sign is gone? The clown sign is not in this scene. That's why you can see.
Oh, I just thought it was a different vantage point. I didn't realize we were in the same spot and we just don't see it.
Nope. It's the same exact shot. It's almost like the clown has gone into Haps. The balloons, by the way, are blue and red, which is the two recurring colors all throughout this thing. But yeah, the sign is gone. There's no sign there. So you see it, and you don't like register it the first time you see it.
Clearly.
Like, and why could, you're going to this thing and it's bright and things are different, and then you're watching them come out, and then you realize the sign is just gone. There is no sign.
Maybe Jack takes it home with him at night or in the day when he's done.
It's wild to think about this sign and the clown and the half of a clown and the crying and all of this stuff. And then now all of a sudden it's gone. Now all of a sudden you see that help wanted sign, which is Teresa. She's been murdered. They have to fill her shift. The balloons inside. That's cool. I love that little detail of the sign just not being there anymore.
Yep. Chet says to Sam, we're going to go watch the sunrise at the Fat Trout trailer park. His response is, are you talking to me in code? Which I just really love. Like, Sam's just really into this whole, because he asks him in this scene or another scene, asks him, sorry, later. This is when he talks to Cooper if he saw Lil. So I think he's just like really fixated on this, like, you've got your own MO, you got like Gordon Cole talking in code. Are you talking to me in code? No, I'm saying exactly what I mean. We're going to go to the Fat trailer park. And then you get Chet saying, good morning, Irie catches himself. I still feel like it's too subtle to be a joke. So I'm not sure, like, what.
Well, I don't know if it's like a joke as much as it's like, okay, there's a song, Good Night, Irene, and hello, goodbye on the name tag, and hello is crossed out and goodbye. It's like hello, goodbye, good morning, good night, like these opposite things occurring.
I guess, yeah.
And it's just, and it's fun. To me, it's funny, not the joke that it's Good Night, Irene, that he wants to say Good Night, Irene, but it's bright and he has to say good morning, and you watch Sam struggle with it.
Yeah,
so as a joke, that's funny.
Yeah.
But the idea of this goodbye, good night. Why can't I think of words? Good morning, good night, like back and forth.
Yeah, gotcha.
Hello, goodbye. That whole thing is great. All right, so we're going to go over to the sheriff's station in a section entitled, This One's Coming from J. Edgar. Agent Desmond has to box Sheriff Cable for Teresa's body.
Oh, man. So we get to come back and see the receptionist again. Just anti-Lucy.
Yeah, Elizabeth McCarthy is her name. She's great.
The anti-Lucy. So you got the deputy watching this, and she's still giggling in anticipation of this. Like, oh God, they're so grating and horrible, and they're terrific here. So they're just standing around waiting for this to happen. You also got the guy from Portland. Was that the medical examiner's going to drive the body, Teresa's body?
Oh, the guy that's in the FBI jumpsuit, but with a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, his little outfit.
But I mean, it is the same character actor from.
He's the same actor that was in the movie.
But they're all standing there watching. So we get the Sam and him standing there. You got the receptionist and deputy watching. Sheriff Cable shows off this amazing feat of strength, bending the rebar. So that's great. It's not just in the photo the one time. This seems like a thing he just does all the time. You got the fellas taking off their badges. So I think we're going to take my badge off for this. Things are going to get real. So taking off their shirts and jackets. And then this fight scene, man, this just goes on forever. You got Cable sucker punching Chet when he's bent over to pick up. Well, I mean, Chet was going to go pick up the rebar as well. So I don't know. Maybe he was going to play some dirty pool, but Cable sucker punches him. You got the receptionist, the deputy, just laughing at this the entire time. It is. The cruelty is the point through all this. It's just they really want to see Chet get bloodied here. But they just completely seem surprised that, that Chet could even land a punch on him because he's just doing a whole bunch of like bobbing and weaving. And finally, Chet just gets his rhythm in and it's just like boom, 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 one after the other. And it just feels like it goes on forever. Again, I bring this scene up. I've mentioned it a couple times previously. It just reminds me of Andy staggering around with blood on his face. Like it's one of those things where it just continues on and we have to sit with it forever. And it's funny, then it's like not funny, but then it's funny again in a way. It kind of feels a little bit similar here, especially as the dawning realization comes over the onlookers. Like Cable's not going to make it through this. He's definitely going down, which is cool.
Yeah, I'd like, this is really where you get a better look of where the morgue is in relation to where the sheriff's station is. And it's literally like out back, like it's just behind the house that is the sheriff's station house. Deputy Cliff, who is played by Rick Aiello, he's great. You mentioned the secretary. She doesn't have a name. Elizabeth McCarthy are so great in their like facial expressions of glee as he's not punching back, or it seems that Sheriff Cable's winning, and then watching that sort of fall away is wonderful. And Deputy Cliff calls Chet a little monkey, which immediately you think about monkeys in this movie, and there's a monkey with the grandson in the convenience store, and then later in the lodge. This fight is not something I can ever imagine Cooper doing.
No.
And Chris Isaac was a boxer, so I have to imagine that this entire thing was added once they knew Cooper was going to have a role, but a diminished role. And so, because that, they talked about copy and paste thing. I can't imagine.
No, this doesn't feel
Cooper
like that at all.
doing this. So this seems like something added. But I don't know for certain. I mean, every scene that has been cut seems like it should be cut. Like, I am so happy with the version we get, and I like seeing this thing. I can't imagine this in the final movie.
Right.
But I like that we get a little treat with it. You mentioned the FBI guy. That I love that outfit. It's so silly. Like, he's in this jumpsuit, but he's got a tie on.
Of course.
And this scene takes place in the film. You're in the sheriff's station. And he's there, this guy, and they're like, "We're taking the body back to Portland." And I think the sheriff says, "No, you're not." And then it would have went to this fight. But
right.
in our thing, you just see the door closed on the body, and they drive off.
I could totally agree with you. Like it would be interesting, and we'll perhaps watch a fan edit and kind of talk about that a little bit as an extra for our Patreon friends. But I am glad as well that we do have these two separate experiences that are complementary and not just all of this together. It does feel like they're great as, like you were talking before, when we're coming up to Hap's Diner, the amount of time that we're taking to come into it and come out of that just feels great. In this context, I think it would have killed the momentum in the actual movie or just taken too long to get into things. So it's just nice to have these two things together. One thing I did forget to mention, too, is Chet also gets to bend the rebar. So
he does, yeah.
Take that, Cable. I don't know. He didn't get his photo taken for the newspaper, but
he doesn't need it.
No.
All right, so we're going to jump over to Cooper and Diane. We're in Philadelphia. Diane loses a bet to Agent Cooper.
Cooper talking to Diane, but not through a dictaphone, but we still don't get to see Diane at all. So yeah, we get Cooper in her doorway. He's doing some bends and chest presses at the doorway while he's doing his best impression of Sherlock Holmes. So he's using his powers of observation to figure out what in there. So it seems like a game that they play regularly. What's the thing that they did?
Yeah, lots of talk about time. Like, I'm not buying time. You move that clock 12 inches to the left.
Oh, fair.
Something about, like, 12 sycamore trees, whatever. I don't think there's any deeper meaning in this scene, but there's multiple mentions of time.
That is important, especially when we come to the Jeffries things later too. But I just gotta say, for me, a Diane who's in the scene-ish but mute is Vic. And it just like gets right under my skin. I just want Diane so badly, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is an odd scene. Like, this works as an outtake.
Yeah.
Or like a funny thing. I can't imagine
it works here.
This was serious. Here, it totally works.
Great. Yeah.
Like, dropping this in this movie would not, and it makes no, like, the script is weird. Like, the original script, time was way different, where certain things in Laura's life took place on different days, and some of the Philadelphia stuff actually happened while Laura's time was happening. It wasn't so divided. So I don't know where this would have fell, but certainly doesn't feel like it could be falling near I Had This Dream, Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his whole, he's full of joy and bouncing around. Like, it doesn't feel like it fits in with any of the Cooper stuff we see in the proper movie, or even in these other scenes with Cooper, to be honest. All right, so we're going to go over to what the scene calls, or the scene heading is Stanley's apartment. Cooper, and if it didn't say Stanley's apartment on the Blu-ray, like, I would have thought this was just like a workshop in the FBI, but this is where he lives, which adds a different element that's kind of great.
Yeah.
Cooper questions Sam Stanley about Chet's disappearance.
Yeah, just the shelving in the background, the sheer number of gadgets and things that he's got. You can just imagine this is how he spends all of his time when he's not, like, literally out in the field. He's just building these things, which is really cool. And this is, again, Stanley just wants to make a connection with anyone. So Cooper's here, and he's just trying to show off the things that he has and start a conversation, and wants to show off the device that he's taken out the field that has that we were able to see the Teresa's nail. Stanley brings up again the blue rose case that Chet wouldn't tell him about, and Cooper says, "I won't tell you either." So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to this. It's just, again, getting to see Stanley and just seeing another dimension to him and reinforcing again. Just wants to get to know people.
Yeah, he's cool. First off, Sam Stanley is great. The 105 miles to Portland, like, throwing out that bit of information always makes me smile. And what is that machine? That it's like this giant machine with white liquid in it that is just going. It's almost like a thing you would do, like, clothes, like if you were dry cleaning a whole bunch of clothes or something. And what's great is the sound of the machine is the audio that you hear for the entire scene.
Gordon, show you a woman named Lil.
Stanley, I'm up to speed.
Agent Desmond never did explain to me what the blue rose meant.
Neither will I.
So it's just going off the whole time. I don't know. It's just so weird. The stuff about a Blue Rose. So we know Blue Rose from Gordon. Obviously, Stanley's into the Blue Rose, but now we know Cooper is in on the Blue Rose. He knows what the Blue Rose is, and he is not going to share that. Again, more stuff about Desmond's MO, as you mentioned. He's like, I got this machine, and I was the reason we found the splinters. We never would have cracked the Whitman case. And it's like, honestly, no wonder he works with Albert, because you probably would go crazy working with Sam Stanley. And it's one of the saddest moments of this is Sam Stanley at the end of the scene reintroducing himself to Cooper.
Sam Stanley, if you ever need me.
If you ever need me. And we know when he does need him, he asks for Albert.
Diane, give this to Albert and his team. Don't go to Sam. Albert seems to have a little more on the ball. We need to bag and tag this.
So it's kind of sad. A lot of talk here, as far as the story, whatever. He's aware, Cooper is looking for the ring. He's really asking about the ring. No one has found the ring. So maybe somebody in Buenos Aires will know where the ring is, because that's where we're going next, where Special Agent Philip Jeffries checks into the Buenos Aires hotel, the Palm Deluxe, and inquires about Judy.
Yeah, so we get this nice establishing shot inside the hotel lobby area. We got Philip Jeffries coming in with a battered suitcase, looking like he does with his nice resort wear that he's got. But it's interesting to me that he's recognized immediately by the hotel manager or concierge, whoever the guy is, as soon as he walks in, Mr. Jeffries, without having said anything. So is he there often, or I don't know what that's supposed to exactly mean, or is this he's returning there? I don't know.
Yeah, that was my take, was like, oh, he's been staying here. So,
Right. But he's coming in with a suitcase, so maybe he's just a fortunate FBI agent who gets stationed in Buenos Aires a lot. Lucky man. Well, I guess it doesn't turn out super lucky. But he does ask if there's a Miss Judy staying there by any chance, which the concierge pretty much ignores, doesn't really respond to that at all.
No, he does. He says she left a note for you.
He says the young lady. He doesn't say it's her.
Do you have a Miss Judy staying here by any chance?
This is for you. La señorita, the young lady. She left it for you.
It almost, I know what you mean, but to me it felt like he was kind of dodging and changing the subject. And I've only seen this once. You've seen this more than I have. To me, it just felt like you're not answering the question. You're ducking and saying, oh, this thing was left for you. Young lady, she left this for you. I don't know that because of what Judy might be, like how that would actually work out. I don't know. It didn't feel exactly like it connected.
I took that more at face value. Like he says, I'm looking for Judy. Oh, the young lady left you this note. Meaning the young lady being Judy, who then he talks about following, and we'll talk about later, to Seattle. It's more of like a regular person.
No, that makes a lot more sense. But to me, for some reason, in the moment, it didn't feel that way. And that may have just been the line reading, or it just might have been me in a weird moment.
I don't know. Whatever. You could read whatever you wanted to this thing. But I took it literally as like, oh, Judy. Oh, yeah, the young lady Judy, without saying Judy, but that's who he meant.
Makes a hell of a lot more sense. But I don't know. It was interesting. Okay. What else we got in this scene, though? We got the Is this what the dancing couple is in this scene?
Yeah.
Or is that later? Okay, right. So you kind of pan across, because I don't know why I didn't note that. I guess I was just kind of entranced watching the people walking by. Actually, that's exactly what it was. I was looking at everybody because it was very 1990s, early 1990s clothing, hairstyles, and everything. It was just so very 90s there, but in the beach vibe too. So it was intensified. So I was just watching everyone go through. The bellhops and everything are also wearing all that kind of resort wear type stuff. And then you got a couple dancing through, performing as probably entertainment for the hotel with. It was like a trio of people playing instruments with them, like almost in a way like dancing with them, following them around as they're dancing through the lobby. So it's just a very cool but surreal sort of moment as they're kind of spinning through there.
This sequence is so pretty and well decorated and beautiful, and what an elaborate set to cut. Like when you think about how much time, energy, money, everything else that was put into this scene, and then to know rightly to cut it is so impressive to me. Like, because that would be a thing, and that's why I can't ever really I start feeling bad for people. You don't want to cut them, but it's like this is the right call, as wonderful as it is. And what I thought about too in this scene, and it happens a couple of times in this, is remembering episode 29. Like the script for episode 29, we're now in a hotel where we're going to a person at the counter. So there's these little hints of stuff that was in the original script that maybe is being, brought to the surface here from Bob Engles' typewriter, what he's putting out. But that's what I thought about. I was like, we finally got to a hotel that is connected to the lodge. This is maybe the Palm Deluxe. Of course, palm is a type of tree, palmers as well. The beautiful harp music. So like music is in the air like it's in the air in the Red Room. We start off with this wonderful harp music before those musicians come in. Of course, she's wearing a blue dress, a color that is all throughout this world. We're seeing blue balloons. We've got Questions in a World of Blue. We've got the blue screen of the TV. And now here's this beautiful blue dress. And then this scene ends where we cut to the power lines. We see the number 6. We hear the man from another place. And again, showing the moving of what Jeffries is going to be moving into a place above the convenience store, which we shall go now. So we're going to spend more time. If you didn't have enough time above the convenience store in Fire Walk with Me, we're going to be here a little bit longer. You're going to hear a little bit more things that people are going to say.
For me, they could have left this scene in, though. This is great. I mean, all my notes are basically just like transcribing everything they're saying because it's terrific. So we get the power lines again with the number 6 and the power on the utility pole there. We get the man from another place at the Formica table. We hear the chrome reflects our image. We get that tight close up of the mouth saying electricity again. In this, though, we get this really tight close up of the jumping man's makeup, and it is so disturbing. It's so like liquid and organic and real looking. It's like it's flesh. I wish they kind of kept that in because it could almost from a distance look like the mask that the grandson wears, but it's not. It's not a dried mask.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like flesh and skin, and it's really creepy and gross. So it's got that white face, and it's similar. You see Laura, you see Leland later with the pale makeup and the black lips, but in this case, it's like the gums and around the teeth are all black. So it's just got that same sort of look. It's really gross, and I absolutely love it.
Chrome reflects our image, all about mirrors, all about reflections. That's immediately being told to us through this wonderful little man. From pure air, we have descended from pure air, like the idea of these things coming down from above, coming to earth, and then going back to heaven. And they talk about it as like a form of intercourse between the two worlds. And we know Laura has been having intercourse with Bob, this other entity. And there's also stuff that we're going to get to with the return about drinking full and descending. So this idea of descending, and I think about the cave painting, like the petroglyph and like the figures above looking down, and it's all that idea of like from pure air. Animal life, I don't know what that is, but yes.
Just before going any further, I really this part of the going up and down intercourse between two worlds. Obviously the one chance out between two worlds. We mentioned that when we were talking about the movie. But like intercourse itself can mean just like conversation. So like the chanting out between two worlds, Bob speaking to her. When we see later the scene with looking at the fan and Bob's actually kind of talking through her and everything. So it's just there's a lot of the meanings there, but yeah, obviously the literal one of actually having intercourse, but just like the dialogue between the spirits, if we want to call them that, in the lodge and the people as well. Just wanted to.
Yeah, lodge spirits. I don't know about animal life. I'm just not sure what that is.
Yeah, then we got some of the same dialogue from the movie. We have Garmonbozia. We got this is the Formica table, green is this color. But then we have Bob speaking. Which I really don't like. I much prefer having Bob not speak for some reason. He just has more presence when he's not saying anything. But he has this thing of, I have the fury of my own momentum, which is very cool, leading to the grandson saying fellow victim. So like putting those pieces together is very cool. But I don't know. Do you have a feeling on that? For me, seeing Bob talk feels like legs. It's like it's.
I don't mind Bob talking. I get what you mean. I love this line. I have the fury of my own momentum, like the momentum that can't be stopped, like that goes on its own. It's just like Laura falling faster and faster and faster. It's like the momentum until you burst into fire. And that precedes fellow victim, the result of which is her death, fellow victim. And it's all connected to the ring. Like we go right into the ring thing. So yeah. I like what he says.
Same.
Less is more often with all of this, though. That's why I like how you get it in the film, because it's this like real brief moment of madness that feels the right amount of time for me, because then we're going to see it again later with Don't Take the Ring, Laura, when Laura has her dream.
That's true. Yep.
So I do like the restraint, although I'm certainly happy to be in this here.
Oh, yeah.
So
I totally want to hang out with these weirdos. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we get the, dialogue that we get in the film as well with this ring I thee wed, but you get Bob and the man from another place, their laughter together. Oh man, is that disturbing?
Yeah, it's so and again, you wonder like what is the man from another place's deal? Like he is evil, he is good, he is both, he is neutral. The ring, wedding, intercourse, like all of these images are kind of working together for this marriage of two
Well,
worlds.
definitely, it's a wedding, two becoming one, but the spirit merging with the victim that they're inhabiting as well, with the ring being the thing that makes that possible. I love all that together. It's really cool. Bob claps his hand, a light appears, and it fades into the white room, and we have the golden pedestal with the ring in it. In the script, it does say Bob like claps his hands, and like a ring of light appears. Like it describes as though there was like a sphere of light above him. They do that. It's in the script as well. Whenever Laura goes into the painting, photograph, whatever, and the grandson is there. The same thing as well. I like that we get it here. We don't have to see it. We just get the reflected golden light on the man from another place, which is pretty cool. And we get Laura's face superimposed over the curtains. It's, we see what this scene is later. But to me, when I first saw this, having not seen the whole thing, it reminded me, because she's kind of looking up, you have the flashing light on her face. It reminds me of when she was in the bedroom and she's looking up at the corner of her room and like, who are you? Who are you? Like it felt like that scene. But we see later it's her. Similar thing, but looking at the fan instead. But I like that we kind of get that time out of order, and we're going to see this in a much later coming, so we get that kind of pulled forward a bit. Oh, and then it has this whole like the kind of ending part of this is like the double image of everything.
To me, I always see this as like Laura's POV.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
because we see Laura's eyes staring.
Yeah,
and then it cuts to the double vision. It's as if she's seeing this world that then fades into the trees, which is, I imagine, what she's seeing sometimes when she's staring up into the fan or into the light and all of these things.
I like that. That's cool. Yeah. And then it all fades, like you said, into the trees and in the fog. I don't know why I felt this at the time. This is absolutely not right. But I don't know, because I can't quite put my finger on the significance of trees. We talk about this in the film as well. Obviously, we know some of the significance of the trees, and we know how it plays in Laura's diary and all this. But we're seeing from where these spirits are, and then we're in the treetops, and it just made me think of like the trees being above it, like they live in the trees above the convenience store. I don't know, something about like juxtaposing those two, like the doubling of the images and everything fades out, and we're left with the treetops in the fog. Something about that.
Well, the woods are magic. Yeah, the woods are magic, 100%.
Well, they are for sure, but like I'm definitely looking for something more literal than is probably really meant.
Well, I mean, you think about the Air Force pointing the things into the woods. Like these things are in the woods, coming from the woods. So I don't think it's too literal what you're going for.
Well, all right. Well, I'll take it.
They're literally, they're in the trees. There's magic in the trees, Dan. I would just add before we get to, because we'll talk about Philip Jeffries here, is nothing. I would add nothing. I think I said everything. You talked about we're going in the red room.
Yes.
Right? I think that's the end of it, and then we're with Philip Jeffries.
We are.
So you can go.
All right. Well, we're with Jeffries. We get a shot of Jeffries coming down the hallway, but with no Cooper. So it's the other half of it, because you see Cooper standing there, and then you see Cooper and Jeffries. So now we just see Jeffries walking down the hallway. I don't know. I just thought it was very cool.
It's like, yes, what we see in the movie, I had said or theorized, like, it's two timelines running simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
This is just one of them. Like, we're only seeing the Jeffries timeline here. We're not seeing the Cooper layer on top of that.
Yeah.
We're seeing a Cooper in here, but not the Cooper timeline that we see where they're both together, which I thought was cool.
It could also be a perspective thing. Like, I don't discount that at all. I think that's great, but like, it's perspective, so you can only see the one timeline. I love it. It's great just to get that additional moment of this whole sequence, which is terrific. This whole thing, obviously, folks, if you're listening to this, you've already seen it, but this is such a much more linear telling of this portion, because a lot of this is repeated, but in the way that we see it in the film, it's all chopped up and intercut with what we're seeing with the lodge spirits as well. So it's nice in a way to kind of get the pieces put together in a more digestible way, even though it's bonkers and completely incomprehensible, but you still kind of get those pieces in the right order there. But you get the way that Jeffries comes in, staggering, like he's really unstable on his feet. You see that in the film when he first comes into Cole's office and he just kind of stumbles into the doorway. But you see a lot more of that where he's just like very unsteady and wobbling. So I guess it's kind of rough getting teleported from Buenos Aires. So just beware when you do.
It takes a lot out
a lot out of you. Get a good night's sleep before you do that.
You could shit your pants if you saw something
Well, we'll
like
get
that.
there. We'll get there. Does he say Judy is positive about this?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah. Because he says the thing. We're not going to talk about Judy. We're going to leave
thought we were
Judy
gonna
out of
leave
this.
Judy
And then
out of this.
Albert getting that line of how interesting. I thought we were going to leave Judy out of this. Bravo, Albert. So he talks about the meeting about the convenience store and we live inside a dream. So that's all in the film as well. And Albert's saying it's raining post toasties, which I guess I think he says in the film as well. But the way that it is clearer to hear and hear makes it much more obvious.
Yeah, I don't remember that line from the film, but it could just be buried in the sound mix.
Right.
And it just is an odd line. It's a serial.
Yeah.
But it's like I've never really heard of post toasties before. It's just weird. Is that an expression that it's raining post toasties? Like it's just,
In Albert's world, it is. It's great.
Maybe it has a deeper meaning for someone else. I'm glad that line's just very strange.
It's great. So we get the same lines that are in the film that we get to keep. I found something in Seattle at Judy's, and then they were there. I sat quietly for hours. I followed. So we get that, but that's all chopped up in the film, from what I recall. But then he has this extra part of it. It's just like and he puts his head on the desk, which isn't funny because obviously this guy's going through a lot there. And then he says the ring. As he's shaking his head is really cool. Then we get all the lights flickering. The intercom goes out. Gordon saying, does he say Mayday, Mayday in the film as well?
And he also says, what, am I alone in here? And then he looks over, he literally is alone.
Well, that's coming, yes. But I don't recall in the film if Gordon says Mayday or if they cut that because that was necessary for Jeffries to say the date that Laura dies. But
just in the missing pieces.
Anyway, yeah, just seeing Cole saying, what am I alone in here? And he turns around and then Jeffries is gone is great. Then we get, that close-up of a mouth laughing. When it pulls back, was it Bob? Because it looked like Bob to me, but it's very hard to tell who it was. But for some reason, I kind of rewound it and watched it a couple times.
Yeah, I think it is Bob.
Yeah. It's just, again, super disturbing, awesome shot. And then we get Jeffries, get an extended version of Jeffries kind of warping back into Buenos Aires. You get the scorched wall behind him. He's screaming in pain. And the extra bit that we get is the maid crawling on the ground to get away, climbing over his suitcase to get away from him because he just materialized out of nowhere. And the bellhop saying that he shit his pants and saying, help me in Spanish. He just has his hands behind his back holding his butt. It's the mix of the like juvenile and funny with this terror of what's going on is beautiful.
That part is very funny, but so insane. Like, also hard to imagine that would have been in the final film, but it was interesting to see.
It would definitely break the tone a little bit to keep it in the film.
But then he asked, like, are you the man? And it goes into Mike is the man. So that is
he
an
does.
interesting little connection between those two.
Yeah, great.
Those two scenes.
Did I miss anything? Because I was pretty exhaustive in all of that. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I think you covered everything. I mean, you talked about the fact that Judy lived in Seattle and that she found something. Again, feels like more like a regular person that he's working with or connected to, and she finds a place above the convenience store, and then they sat quietly for hours, and then he follows them, and so all this talk about the ring is great. I don't know if you said Gordon's line about give me some no, what does he say? Not give me some good news. When he says, I think I'll have that mineral water or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He says he asked for that mineral water.
Albert. He asked Albert, I'll have that.
Yeah,
I think I'll
Albert,
have that.
I think I'll take that mineral. Yeah. That's great.
That's great.
I don't know. I mean, the February 1989 is the part that stands out to me. Because it's, when Laura is killed and then he immediately disappears. So it's very cool. All right. So we're going to cut over to Mike is the man / sharing a cigarette. Mike asks Bobby about the missing cocaine, and Laura and Donna walk to school. Then Laura lies to her mom about where she's going, and she gets caught smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, starting with the fellas in their car. So this is an extended scene then, I guess. So this is more than we actually get to see in the film, and also from a different angle. We're kind of shooting from the other side of the car. Mike is asking Bobby about the football. It's half empty. So Mike doesn't know where the other half of the Coke is. We hear that they owe Leo half the Coke or half the money, $5,000.
Yeah.
Eric, put that in your accounting book.
Oh, but I already got that. You know this thing is going on. I've been talking this thing forever.
just wanted to-
Like, listen, where's the other half of the Coke? It's likely up Laura's nose.
Well,
I
that's
think
for
we all
sure.
know that.
Yeah, I just wanted to get you going again on your trying to get.
Well, yeah.
Get the,
So they got the Coke there. They've got and it's $5,000 worth of Coke. Half of it's gone. Now Mike's, that maybe they keep the Coke in the football, and that's where they draw from it when they're making their things. They don't want to keep it in their house. I don't know. It's fine.
It's great. It's great.
Bobby says he has the Coke.
One thing that's super important here is Bobby does call Mike Snake. So I'm glad that we get to bring that back again. Look, Snake, I have the Coke, which is cool. Anything else on this before we go over to the Palmer house?
Yeah. So I talked about the drug thing. I like Bobby's. We're gonna go bear our kudas.
Oh,
so
God.
you wanted to bear your kudas. I like it. I like seeing Mike and Donna, or Mike try to flirt with Donna. Most of my notes are on the second part. So are you done with Sarah too?
No, let's go over to Sarah. So Laura needs a bar. So this is one of the scenes, again, this is me having the worst memory in the world, but trying to put the pieces together. What is the scene in the film that precedes this?
This is her first day.
Yeah.
She goes to school. She hangs out with Donna. She comes home. She notices her diary's been read. She rushes off to Harold, and she gets stopped on the way.
Yeah, I knew she was in a panic and had to get out of there. I couldn't think of what it was and where she was going because that's how my brain works. Not well. Okay, thank you. I recognized it, but I couldn't place exactly where it was in the film. Yeah, so Laura needs to borrow her car. I love this interaction between the two of them. Like, Laura's in a panic about this, and she's got to get to where she needs to go. But there's still this moment of interaction between her and Sarah. And there's a few of these in these deleted scenes that I really like that kind of expands their relationship, our view of their relationship. But as she's coming in, Sarah's coming in with her, bags and everything. She gets Laura to take the cigarette for her. Cigarette, which I think is just a really funny scene. And so Laura ends up holding it and she leaves, and Sarah calls her back so she can get her cigarette back from her. So this feels like a thing that happens between them often, like just hold my cigarette for me sort of thing. And again, you'll never be a smoker if you don't start. I mean it. Which Laura kind of rolls her eyes a little bit about, and if you know what we know about Laura, it's the least of the vices we need to worry about. But yeah, just then Sarah trying to get the cigarette back in her mouth while she's got the armload of groceries. And the way that God, I just love Grace Zabriskie so much. But the way she kind of like stumbles her way out of the scene and into like the dining room to the kitchen, it's just delightful. She's wonderful in all of the extra scenes.
She's always overwhelmed. She's always smoking. She's never in a scene where she's not smoking. But yeah, she's always got too much, more than she can handle.
Oh, literally, like
in more ways than
Yeah.
one. That little leather key thing, I have not seen one of those that the Palmers have. My stepfather had one, so I think it's connecting to some of my own trauma, seeing that bit. But I like her mom catching her with the cigarette and trying to be like a good mom,
Mm-hmm.
protecting her from smoking, and like the irony of all of the drugs that she's doing, and the fact that all this abuse is going on that Grace is not doing anything about, or Sarah is not doing anything about.
Yeah.
Is kind of rich, but yeah, it's a neat scene. All right, we're gonna jump over to the same house. So she's gonna get caught for lying about saying that she was going over to Bobby's because she forgot her books there. So this is called School Books. Laura gets caught in a lie.
Yep, Laura lied about her school books. Sarah found them. She just says that she had to see Bobby. And this moment when Sarah slams her hand on the piano keys, you think that she's going to be like super angry and blow up at her, but it's the opposite. It's like this frustration. You don't have to lie to me ever. You can tell me anything. I will understand. Not at all true. It's just the irony of it is terrible, but the way that she feels such strong emotion about it, it's to me wondering if like this subconsciously is coming through for her, and that's why she feels so really passionate about it, even though she does maybe not consciously recognizing it. But the way that the piano notes kind of hang in the air.
You don't have to lie to me, ever. You can tell me anything. I will understand.
Like it's like a normal mom and daughter fighting, like it's fighting over a normal thing. Sarah's looking for her blue sweater again. It's a blue sweater, guys. There's gonna see blue. You can hear blue. You're gonna see blue. I'm gonna see red, blue, and red. Colors everywhere here. But yeah, it is kind of nice when Laura lies to her mom again. And yeah, tell me anything, I will understand. But she's not telling her the most horrible thing. And like what is it, like cognitive dissonance?
Yeah.
Of like holding this together in her head is wild. And I think near the end of it, it's like your father's starving, says he's starving. Like it's always all about Leland. Speaking of which, now it's dinner time. We knew Leland was hungry and he needs to eat. So the family is going to sit down for a fun dinner at the Palmers.
Plywood? What a strange thing. I don't know. Just very odd. And he sets it up. So it's the entire scene. He has it propped up there. It's in the background the entire time, just almost literally hanging over them throughout the entire scene.
Yeah. And I think that's the point. There's violence always there. There's always hidden violence that can come out at any minute. And it's right there. And he'll just flip it.
The thing that's clearest here is the metaphor. The actual literal part makes no sense. Why would you have this axe that doesn't look like it's antique or anything special on a piece of plywood if you're going to mount it? Why is it like none of that makes sense? But the metaphor, clear as day, ringing like a crystal bell. Like that's great.
He is hungry, and if you're hungry, you need an axe.
Of course. Oh, okay, my bad. you need a mounted axe they can set up. So we got that. You got this whole thing of them practicing the Norwegians. The Norwegians. Remember how important that was at one point in the show? I love that we bring it back here. Terrific. Getting them all to practice introducing themselves in Norwegian, and this kind of like they are actually genuinely having a good time. They're also tweaking Leland about it, but my name's not Leland. My name's Sarah. Like so, it's just nice to see them as a family. And if you could just imagine that there isn't all this horrible other thing going on, that's just a really nice family scene. But all of them, you're taking the hands, they're all repeating it back together, da, 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 and they're all laughing. And the way that Sarah just starts laughing and just keeps laughing, and it's like, it's too much laughter now. Like now it's over the top and it becomes something different. Is pretty cool. All the while with the axe menacing her right over her shoulder the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I really like this scene for a lot of those reasons, because it is joy. Like, there's joy in this house. Well, the two parts, right? So we talked about the I'm hungry. Leland's like, I'm hungry. Where's my axe? Insane.
Yep.
It's completely insane. It's like this scene, if you had cut this scene in half and removed, like, the absurd axe part and just had him saying, hey, the Norwegians are coming. Let's do this. It would be like a regular family thing. And then there's an insanity. And then together it's like, okay, that's this house.
Yeah.
Is this insanity mixed with this regular thing? And I like that it is a normal family moment that isn't trauma, that is here. And it, like, you know, the laughter at home. Leland is very charming. Like, that's the thing about Leland. And right off his screaming like a lunatic, now he's like your best friend in the world. And it explains a little bit like why the abuse goes on for so long. Because sometimes things are okay, and maybe things are okay for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then it gets really bad. So I like this scene because it feels real, because when you're with someone like that, you do have normal, fun, good times together. And then at any minute it's going to change. But in the version we get, this is like you do all of that work with him telling Laura he loves her.
Yes.
After he cries and he comes in. So it's like you still get it, but this is like feels very real to life. And again, Sarah constantly smoking this whole time. I like that scene. Even her laughing at the end for me didn't feel like it went too far. I felt like, oh my God, there's laughter in the Palmer home, which there really isn't, other than this. So it's kind of nice.
To me, it just felt like it was almost maniacal laughter in a way. Like it was just fine. And maybe it was just a choice that Grace Zabriskie was doing. We're just going to keep it going. Because there's a moment when like Leland's almost like in a good way, like surprised by like how much she's laughing a little bit. He was like, Sarah, she just like keeps going. And Laura's laughing as well. So I do like it. It's just something about, again, David Lynch and the pacing, holding it for longer than you would expect. So it just keeps going to the point where it becomes slightly off. I like that for me.
Sure. All right. So we're going to jump over to Laura's party. Laura gets a ride from Leo's friend to the Power and the Glory.
Right. So this is right after Laura leaves James, right? This is what had happened there. She jumps off.
Maybe. Yeah, at this point, again, the script, or like, if you found these scenes like in the script, it's not going to 100% match. Like, things happen out of order, even in this.
Yeah.
But probably around, I don't know, whatever that Tuesday was where James came over or something. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So then she gets picked up by the trucker. You're a friend of Leo's, Power and the Glory, which we don't really know. Like, I thought he was just calling, like, that was slang for cocaine. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that's the name of what I always call it, the Pink Room. Like, but yeah, and then it's Funland, I think, in the script or something, and now it's officially the Power and the Glory because of this.
Yeah, I think it's Partyland in the script, but then you see that on the door later, Power and the Glory. But here I was just like, Power and the Glory. I just thought it was like a weird slang for cocaine that I didn't know. But anyway, but like Laura like climbing over him and like, you put your hand on this gear shift, this one's for me, or whatever she says. Yeah, I mean, as explicit and visceral as we get to see Laura in the film, you get even more of that throughout this as well. So, disturbing scene.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes. I must have looked this up. This is, I think, supposedly taking place on her first day, for whatever that's worth. Again, days don't matter. I don't have much to say about this, other than what I said about the Pink Room. I will probably call it the Pink Room. I just always have called it the Pink Room because that's the name of the song. But the Power and the Glory, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
All right, so 2x4 is the next scene. This is with Del Mibler, who's trying to return a 2x4. And how many times has this happened to you? You got a 2x4, it's not what you thought you had ordered, and you got to return it directly to the mill owners.
What a great scene this is. Not only do we get, like, this just is, slice of life in Twin Peaks. We get Pete, we get Josie, we got Del Mibler here. What a treat. What a little bonus to get him through from episode 29. We get him here. Terrific. The 2x4 is too small. Eric, this is the second time. This is not just the first time that he gets the wrong size board. And it's just like really interrogating Pete about it. You admit it that the finished lumber isn't actually 2x4. So we get Pete really talking about the process of how lumber is sawed and shipped off and the necessity of all of that. Josie's a little bit out of her depth because she doesn't obviously know all this stuff at all either. She's just kind of running the place. But it's really cool. Josie says it's also complicated, but she's definitely afraid of it like ending up in legal hands because of all of her backstory, it seems. But then we get the metaphor that makes it click for Del. Is $1 what it used to be down at your bank? And he's like, oh, I see what you mean. I love it. It's just great. Wonderful little scene.
And like the waiter, we see another old man in Twin Peaks saying, I am so sorry.
Oh,
I am so sorry, which is how Del says this.
That's true.
I don't know. This is a crazy scene. This scene is so strange. I mean, it does make you think about Pete saying 2x4 or 4x8.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I don't know. It's great seeing Josie again. It's strange to think like there's scenes with Josie and Harry Truman that were in the script, and it's like this is how you're having Josie is in this very strange scene about lumber. But I love seeing Pete.
Yep.
I love seeing Del. So hey, why not? This wouldn't make any sense in the film.
Not at all.
But I love to see it. I love to see it. All right, we're going to go to Kind of Quiet is the name of this scene. We're going to the Double R. We're going to see what was going on in the Double R while Laura was talking to Miss Tremont and her grandson. The only customers to the Double R, Ed and Nadine, leave when Nadine sees Norma. Shelley has to finish the Meals on Wheels deliveries, and Norma breaks down. Later, Ed returns and makes a date with her.
It's such an interesting scene because it is like the alternate pieces that we don't get to see from the film. So it's just kind of putting these together. Like you said, this is what's happening while Laura's out there getting ready for the Meals on Wheels stuff. So Shelley's there to help Laura. Some of the stuff is reused in the film as well, but for the most part, it's all kind of separate. Yeah. Is this the only Nadine we see at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, again, like we get Josie in a little bit, like for a split second. We get Nadine for a split second. I don't want any coffee, Eddie. Shelley's long look at Norma over all of this, like this jealousy that's obviously happening here. This is such a sad scene with Norma. she's saying there's nobody here, there's no one. And it's definitely weightier than talking about not having any customers in the diner at that point. It's just so sad. And it just gets even worse whenever she's like just sitting there crying in the booth all by herself. You get Shelley's concern again about Leo stopping in. I think it's in the film as well, but like just reiterating that part because we get the extended kind of version of cleaning the Johnson house later too, as she really drives that home. Just random things here. You get Heidi. We get a little bit more of her sitting there with her nosebleed and she's holding it back. But whenever Norma comes over, it's just like this quiet scene. It's just watching Norma walk around the empty double R. She comes over to the booth where Heidi's sitting, puts her hand on her shoulder, and Heidi just giggles again. And Norma just kind of shakes her head and walks away from her. It's like all Heidi does is giggle. But hey, she got to be in the movie too, in a way. Yeah, Norma says it's kind of quiet and just starts crying. It's just so bad. Then Ed's back and she has this ray of sunshine, that smile when she sees him, and she's just trying to hide the tears from him. So anytime he's not looking at her, the tears kind of come. And as soon as he looks, she just does what she can to hold that back. And it just feels so, so sad. So the scene we get with them later feels even more meaningful because of this little interaction between the two of them. But I'm sure there's other stuff that is important here. Tell me.
Well, just spending any time with Norma and Shelley is good. You mentioned we see these shots are just held for longer, which is nice to see. We watch Laura and then Nadine and Ed come. Nadine is much more reactive to Norma here.
Yeah.
Than we have seen her in a while. It really just... Now, Nadine, you're going to see Norma when you go to the double R. Like, you shouldn't be that surprised that she's there. And also, I feel so bad for Norma on the business side of things. We're going to get to the deep emotional weight of it.
Sure.
But she's paying Shelley. She's paying Heidi, who's bleeding. She's paying that cook. And she's sitting there, and there's no money coming in, and the only money that's came in just ran out the door. So I can feel for her from a business standpoint as well. I love Shelley's face when Laura runs away. Like, what the hell is wrong with this girl? And Norma saying, "What's with that, Laura?" Like, people know what's going on. It's like what Bobby says at the funeral. We all knew she was in trouble. And you get that. We're going to get that more in a bit. But that line is telling. Like, what's with that, Laura? It's like she is falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
She is being destroyed, and you guys are just going about your day. The line that Shelley says, too, it's nice that they have that in this scene, is like, if Leo comes, he's not going to believe I'm at Meals on Wheels. Just like you mentioned, it's just a reminder of the abuse that she has. And watching Shelley watch Ed come in and Nadine come in and then leave while she's cheating with Bobby on Laura, and this whole thing is going on, and she's watching like her future. This is the life that I'm going to have if I'm stepping out with Bobby, like all of that, and just watching that all on her face on that shot is just wonderful.
Yep.
Machen does a great job. I mean, I guess Norma's hair was cut at the point. She was not wearing a wig, so it's a completely different hairstyle than we're going to see in the pilot, but it's fine. She's great. She's just so properly depressed in this scene, and just the moment, just spending time with her to hear the cook say, it's kind of quiet, just goes to that booth, and they just hold in that booth even before Ed comes, and just watching her break down. It's rough. It's rough to watch.
It's that time when we thank our friends that have supported us throughout the show. So I want to give a special thanks to our friends, and yours now, and all of you listeners could be your friends, and you can join them in this expression of your friendship. We got Chuck Suffle, Gregory Flanagan, Don Adamo, Banjo Track, Eric Knopp, Jake Jagello, Matthew Fuller, and David Melito. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And this is nice because normally I would do these things, I would drop them in as I was editing it. And now we're going to start doing live thank yous for Black Lodge members. If you go to our Patreon, pay $5 a month, you too will have your name read here. And it's nice now. Dan we can alternate whoever's writing the thing that we write for ourselves. We can read it.
Mhm.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, guys. But, however, this means there will be a 2-week delay. So if you sign up, you may not hear your name now for a couple of weeks until that episode goes out, since we're going to be doing it live. And who knows? Maybe it's a good thing. But you know what else is a good thing? Talking about the missing pieces. So let's jump right back to that now. Dan, this is Best Friends. Laura asked Donna to be her friend. A little extended scene, an extended edition. Best Friends.
I don't have a whole lot to say about this one. So I don't know.
Laura wants one friend just for 1 minute.
Oh yes, so I had to go back and find it in the script because I could not understand a word she was saying there. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I find it very cute. Laura says, I just want one friend just for 1 minute. And she's like, how about one friend for the rest of your life? Now, Donna is a great friend.
I'm your friend always. But sometimes lately I feel that you don't want to be around me because I'm so uptight. No, I am uptight. And I hate it. I don't want to be, but Laura, I don't. I mean, I'm your friend no matter what way you are. You know, even when I just think about your face, I get happier.
These two scenes, the outside of Donna's house and inside of Donna's house, are the thing that I mentioned when we did the review. Like, maybe there would be one thing I would want in the proper movie, and it's this. Like, it hurts. You can feel it in your heart, where she's talking about, I am your friend always, but sometimes I feel like you don't want to be around me because I'm so uptight. I'm your friend no matter what way you are. And for Laura to hear that with all the stuff that she's doing and all the guilt that she's feeling and all the self-hatred and all the self-medication and the horror that she's in, it really is just, to me, it's like so wonderful and beautiful. And like when she says, I think about your face and it makes me happier, it's great. And then, so we're going to jump inside, which we'll have more to say. We're going to go inside the Hayward house. For the scene called I'm the Muffin / The Ring, Laura spends time at the Haywards. Doc does a magic trick, and he reads Laura a secret message.
Yeah. So Donna confesses that she was thinking about doing it with Mike. This isn't in the film, is it? It's just in this?
No.
Okay. For some reason, it felt like reminiscent of that. But yeah.
No, the film, she goes, are you my best friend? And she's bawling. Of course, the door closes and we go to the Palmers. That's the only moment we get of this is outside. And it's not the same take.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, but she's confessing that she wants to do it with Mike, and Laura's just like, you don't even like him. And just kind of slightly accuses her of like, are you just talking about this because you want to prove how, whatever, cool you are or whatever. So we get Eileen coming in who offers them muffins, which is nice. And we get Donna saying to Laura that you are a muffin, which kind of comes back later. We talk about this as well in the film with the whole muffin.
Yeah, it gives context to Laura saying, I am the muffin in the pink room. When you're like, what does that mean?
Right.
And like it has a sexual thing, but whatever. Here it's clearly connected to this whole conversation that they have.
You got Doc Hayward coming in, doing the ipso facto, tries to do a magic trick and reveal the rose. He says he did the magic trick at the light at Sparkwood in 21. I'm guessing he was practicing in his car while he was driving someplace, or did he set up a little magic stand on the side of the road and just doing tricks for 25 cents? I'm guessing it's probably that. In the script, again, when I was watching the film and I was trying to follow along, get some of the dialogue as well, there is a mention of later when we actually go past Sparkwood 21 and later in the movie, the camera is supposed to pan across and you see a red rose laying by the side of the road at Sparkwood 21. Do we see that here at all? No, we don't. Okay. So it's just interesting to like tie these things together, but then not really do anything with it, but it's just interesting. You get this whole part of Laura just lighting up in the Hayward's house, and I love this exchange with Doc and Laura.
Why is it you can't smoke in your home? I'm a doctor and don't allow smoking in my home, and I let you smoke in my home.
Because you love me so much?
I do love you. You little smoking whippersnapper.
Like calling her his little smoking whippersnapper. But how is it that that there's no smoking in this house? I'm a doctor and know that you can't smoke, but I let you do it. It's because you love me so much. It's true. I mean, that's really what it is. Like, he just absolutely loves her like a daughter. It's wonderful to have that like parental figure there, where she can feel safe enough to smoke, I guess. It's really important to note, Eric, that there are 7 whole huckleberries in each muffin. So when you get your muffin, please count that. Eileen will be upset if there's more or less. So there's 7 in there. But then there's this whole, like, Eileen's very perceptive about there's some energies off here. Or she knows that there's something going on with Donna and Laura. She just like has this very pensive look at them back and forth. It's wonderful. Then we get this moment that I think is just great. Like, where does it come from? How does he know to say this? Doc has a piece of paper in his pocket. He can't read his own handwriting, which is a great, little doctor's joke. But then he reads it to her.
This isn't a prescription. It's a secret message for Laura. The angels will return. And when you see the one that's meant to help you, you will weep with joy.
God, I love that. I don't know. I mean, it's just it's so terrific. And Laura's reaction to it as well, like her like eyes start welling up with tears. It's just like, but he's not actually. That's not. I don't know. What's your take? That's not really what's written on there. He's just kind of extemporaneously saying something, or was it actually written there? If it was, why was it written there like that? Like, where does this come from?
He's saying that
Yes.
to her on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, it's not written there, and it's just some magical thing that's written on there, and then he's just reading it.
No, I know. What this?
Well, because they know what's going on.
But the angels
Like, they know, everybody in this town knows what's going on. They know something's not right.
They don't know what's
Like,
going on. They know something's rough with Laura.
They don't. I don't.
No.
It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to say whether it's. I can tell you from personal experience, not from being sexually assaulted, but I had a very hard time with my stepfather. I had a friend just like this. You would go to their house. It's like this scene. I feel like anyone that comes from that place has a place like this, has like a house that you go to where you can, be away from that and decompress. But no one ever does anything about it. I remember like this person's house that I would go to. She was a teacher. There was another teacher. Once we had to write like some essay, and I wrote like this really crazy thing about some incident that happened in my house with my stepfather. And I found out the teacher cried. Like, it was like really devastating to her. Nobody does anything.
Yeah.
So I feel like people are good people. They're not bad people that suspect things that may be going on or may not be going on. That if they don't verbalize it, the people also don't know what to do.
Mhm.
So I feel like that scene after this is over, when she leaves and they hold on the Haywards, and you see it on Doc's face, like they know something's
Yes.
going on, but they're not going to take action. And it's not because they don't care about Laura. It's like that makes it real when you do that. So that's why he lets her smoke there. That's why she's and I feel like he knows she needs to hear that. It doesn't have to be specific. Something is wrong in the Palmer.
That much for sure. What the trouble is, who's causing the trouble, something in the household or whatever else is going on. Yes, I definitely believe in. And Doc Hayward has seen her knows her since she was born. Like, obviously knows something is going on, but like the specifics of it.
Yeah, not speaking specifically, but that's why he's saying it. Like it sounded like you were saying, was it just written there by?
No. But I mean the specific from the painting. So,
and the entire angel thing was something that was added. I believe it came from Phoebe Augustine, who plays Ronette.
And I told him, I said, it's only ever just bad stuff happens to me, it's always so bloody ugly and everything. And he's, okay, how about if I give you an angel? will you do it if I give you an angel? And so I said, okay, yeah, good.
And then like it sort of organically developed into the ending that we have. That is an ending I think that came. So it's like this scene is there, and then he's got this scene in his head, and then that becomes the end of the movie. So it wasn't like intentional. Like so somehow this scene happens, like even though it literally happens while it gets cut from here. So that's kind of really cool.
Amazing. I didn't know that about the angels being something that was kind of found.
Yeah, it's something I know I mentioned Scott Ryan's book. He has a whole book on Fire Walk with Me, in which he interviews Cheryl Lee. Also, that comes up and stuff, and it's a personal story for her. I don't think she's shared all the details about how that came out, but it's fascinating to look at how that came up because it's a perfect ending. It's wonderful ending. And to have this scene here, and I feel like maybe if this scene were here in the film, it would be too on the nose, maybe, because it's literally describing it, but I don't know. I love it. I love this scene so much. Like, and it's also the same shot when we go in that Bob crawled over the couch. So it's like,
I was thinking that too, watching it.
It's that same thing. And just, again, having a safe place. I talked about that. And, you talked about Donna being like, do it with Mike, trying to match Laura, like, but they aren't even on the same planet. But her way of saying, is this your way of showing me you're not uptight? Like hints at what Donna's going to do.
Yeah.
Like it's a precursor to the Pink Room stuff, or the Power and the Glory, I should start saying. And she's willing to do things for Laura's approval. Like you always have, or you sometimes you meet people like that are trying to sort of impress you or say that they can do all these things. And Laura's immediately clocks it, which is wonderful. Doc, of course, has got a red rose. It's red. The red rose is on her painting, with the photograph
wallpaper
of the wallpaper.
Yep.
Red is the color of fire, and when he does his trick, of course, he's at the light of Sparkwood and 21. You imagine it's a red light. He's not doing this while he's driving. Again, it's red, stopping. And that's the last place we know someone saw her alive, at least in the pilot. Again, Doc knows. When I say knows, he knows something is wrong.
Yeah.
And Eileen knows something is wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe not the exact details of what's going on, but he knows.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I have a note. My friend's mom bought me a cookie jar which had a clown on it, but I'm like, I'm going to cut that part out. I don't need to say that. All right.
Oh, I think you should keep that.
The Haywards sit there. It weighs on them. Oh, okay. So when the Haywards are sitting there and you see the weight on their faces, both of them, you hear the sound of wind, which is wild.
I didn't realize
that's playing in the sound design. I love that.
Yeah.
The end of this,
yes,
Donna says to Laura, buy muffin, and she says, no, Donna, you're the muffin. And then Laura stopping and being like, no, Donna, you're right, I'm the muffin, and she's just bawling.
I'm the muffin, screaming it outside.
Crazy. Again, we talked about that. Now I'm the muffin, and the Pink Room has some more context. We cut over to the pedestal where the ring is inverted from, I guess, how we usually see it. We didn't talk about this, or I forgot to mention this or bring it up like the first time. Like, this is Cooper after the events of season 2. Like, this is the good Cooper that we're seeing. And we didn't mention that when we did Fire Walk with Me, but this is future Cooper stuck in the Black Lodge.
Well, is it future or is it past?
Right. He literally says, is this future? Is this past? But, he's addressing her as Laura when he says, Laura, don't take the ring. This is the new Cooper. And we get that really, explained to us at the end of this,
right?
Where he's like, how do I get out of this place?
Right.
But this is cool. Good Dale's trapped in the lodge. Write it in your diary. Then it's Cooper addressing Laura by name. I talked about that. That's it. I guess I'm done.
But yeah, and this is this a different version of the same thing we get in the film though?
It's cut. I mean, you get most of the same. This scene appears when she goes into the picture.
Yes.
So you get this sequence. You don't get all of the dialogue as far as I remember. Like you don't get do you get I'd have to watch it again to see exactly how much was cut.
You get it. Is it the future? Is it the past?
Yeah, we're gonna get it twice. I think
It bears repeating.
right,
I like it.
he's gonna do that whole thing, the thing at the end as well.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk to Bob through a fan. So Bob speaks through Laura / Blue Sweater. So we get to actually see Bob speaking through Laura. Bob talks to Laura through the fan, and Sarah is having another episode.
When you say Bob speaks to Laura through the fan, I'm just picturing like when you're a kid and you like talk into a fan and you shout, "Oh, like that's just I want Bob to speak like that." Anyway, exactly.
There you go. That's it. That's what you sounds like when you're talking to a fan, Dan.
Bob saying, "Do you see what we can do? I want to taste through your mouth," which we do get that line in the film as well. But seeing it here, that fan, man, I thought that stairwell couldn't be any creepier already, but now it's even creepier. After the events of the film, when we see Leland turning the fan on before Bob comes in, Laura staring at it in abject terror when Bob starts talking to her through the fan, or as she's kind of staring at it. Man, that's the scariest stairwell in all of America. It's great.
I like that you get a better idea of like how the stairs really are with the landing, the way the stairs go up and down into another part of the house. Like it's like multiple stairs. When you see it in the show, it's usually shot from below up and you see the spinning thing. But you really get a sense that you go up one level. It's like a split level thing. Then there's a landing. And then there's another set of stairs that go down probably to like a laundry room, and then the other set of stairs that go up to the second floor. So you get a better idea of the house layout.
For all of you trying to put together your 3D model of the house.
Yeah, well, to me, that had a big effect on me. Even like seeing, you can watch on YouTube tours of the house. And I never realized that there was that second landing until this. Like
I'm learning about it right now because I didn't clock it when watching it either.
Yeah, you think it's just like a regular stair, but it isn't. It's got this like this little mini landing in between.
Interesting. The way Laura's like staring at at the fan, she seems almost entranced, but also like catatonic at the same time. It's great. She can just do so much by doing so little and just letting it build and just holding on her until she starts to begin to like that growling sound and changing and baring her teeth. It's great, but it's just builds so slowly. God, she's wonderful. Then we get Sarah wearing the blue sweater that she's like accusing Laura of having taken again. And when she realizes, she begins to cry. Again, it's like all of these repressed things that she is either not aware of or pushing down, or it's like the subconscious coming through. She's overreacting emotionally to things. It's terrific. I would love to see that. But then she says, "Oh no, it's happening again."
Mom.
Oh no. Oh no.
Mom.
It's happening again.
No, it's
happening again.
No, it's not. Just sit down.
Obviously, we get the whole, it's happening again, Bob killing and all of that. But like for Sarah to be saying this, what does she like? This is a thing that's happened. I don't know what your take on that line is, but I think it's great.
There's all of those things. Like,
yeah,
on the surface, sure, she's going mad again. She had an episode before, and now she's doing it. But it's happening again, which is what's told to us. She's being drugged again. This thing, like the whole idea that she's wearing a blue sweater and she can't find it, and you're wearing it. Like this is right. The thing is right in front of her. The abuse is right here. You're in it. And you can't see it. And that's like the whole thing for me is like she's wearing the thing she can't see because she can't see what the hell's going on in her own house. But yeah, it's happening again. Of course, the giant, you immediately think about that and the drugging and the repetition and hello, goodbye and the spinning fan and all that stuff. Her smile, Laura's smile, is a fucking nightmare. That creeping, horrifying smile, and the way it pushes in, it reminds you of all those extreme close-up teeth shots above the convenience store.
For sure,
it's just wild. But yeah, you mentioned you see a glimpse of this, just like that. I want to taste through your mouth right after she's at Harold's house in the movie,
right?
All right, so we're gonna jump over to church and then go to the Johnsons. This is called Sunday at the Johnsons. Shelley learns the best way to clean a floor while Bobby's looking for drugs.
I'd like that we're like outside the Episcopal church, I think it was, but we're sitting there and with the power lines running in front of the church and they connect up to the church as well, because obviously power lines do, but just like sitting on that shot of just the power lines connected to the church, I think is a nice visual metaphor. Pretty great.
I wonder how religious David Lynch is in any sense, because it's interesting. Like he talks about Eraserhead being his most spiritual film. And when he was making Eraserhead, he couldn't connect some part of it. And there's a Bible passage that he found.
And on that particular film, I started reading the Bible, and I'm reading the Bible going along, and suddenly there was a sentence. And I said, forget it. That's this thing. That's this thing.
That he will never tell anyone, and no one will ever know. Now that he was like, I get it, and he read it and he got it. And there's this shot, there's nothing, the shot of the church, but then you have Briggs later reading from the book of Revelations. And I just wonder how much of that played in any role in him, because it seems to be something that he's certainly touched on at times. Just curious.
Yeah, so then we cut over to the Johnson household. So it's an extended scene of what we see in the film as well. The object always goes back to the exact same spot when you're cleaning. He can, we see this in the film, but I just love this. I sometimes when we're on the road, I know where every object in the house is.
Yeah, we get more. We get a lot more here. He tells me that mental picture.
The mental picture of the house. I can walk through the house and see where everything is. Lay off the bennies, Leo. And I didn't mention this when we see it in the film as well, but just like Shelley kind of not taking Leo seriously in a way, like like kind of teasing him in a way, but being very dismissive and belittling when he almost kills her.
Yeah, I don't get that.
But the lay off the, you don't see, like she's very like she's upstage towards the camera. Leo's in the back scrubbing on the ground. Lay off the bennies, Leo. She's like, it doesn't seem like she's threatened by him, or I don't know, maybe she's thinking about Bobby and he's going to take her away and she's not going to, I don't know, but there's something else going on here until he grabs her and like smacks her twice on the head.
Right. I don't know. I just think that's probably very realistic. Like at some point they dated and they had a normal relationship, and there's still parts of her that will push back a little bit, but not, I don't see her as like being flippant or not afraid of him. But also like just, she's probably so annoyed. The guy has been scrubbing the thing, talking about he's annoying. Like he's annoying her. So at some point that kicks in. It's like, just fucking lay it. And maybe she can give him bennies or give him drugs to turn him off. Like there's certain switches you can hit.
Maybe.
Like just whatever, I'll give him this. Like, so I don't know. I don't know if
that's fine.
I don't know.
It's funny that you say this about like, yeah, they have a private relationship. One of the things I have in my notes is, how did Shelley and Leo meet and why did she fall for him? I would love to see like a bit of that because I don't understand them at all.
Did they talk about it in the diary? Did they talk about it in the diary why they started dating? I can't remember.
I don't think so. No, I don't. In the diary.
Yeah.
Is she?
She's in they talk about her in the diary because Laura doesn't like her, and like they have like, because she feels that Shelley doesn't like Laura because she's with Leo, and she does come up in the diary. And then she even talks about how she's happy that Bobby's with Shelley, so she's aware that the affair is happening.
Oh, yeah, that is true. That's true. Okay. All right. Again, my bad brain. Anyway, yeah.
The obvious metaphors, I guess, but literally you got to scrub below the surface, Shelley. That's where the dirt is. I mean, that's Twin Peaks. It's the dirt below the surface of the town.
Good point.
There is no easy way to do this. All right, so we're going to get to Smash Up. Our next section, drunk and in love, Ed and Norma listen to music in a car.
Do you just watch this scene on repeat, Eric? I don't know. I know how much you love
great.
The two of them. It's wonderful. It's
a
just
great
a wonderful
love
scene.
Story.
I like them both. At least Buzz. Apparently Ed is pretty hammered, though he holds his liquor pretty well because he's trying to blow into the breathalyzer and keeps failing it. So they're going to have to be there for a long time and hang out. I love that. The two of them sitting in the car, and remember like playing with a dial to try to get the radio station in. Like I haven't seen that in forever, and it's just an AM dial as well, which is cool and very kind of retro. Just trying to get it, and it's far away, but trying to bring that signal in. So I love that song. It's Do you know what song is playing?
Yeah, it's the theme of Fire Walk With Me, but it's like the sax version of the song.
Okay. To me, it's very reminiscent of the song "What'll I Do." What'll I do if you are far away? Which is kind of nice too. It's just I just love that song. It's a nice old standard. Just very, very nice. Are we lucky or just in a terrible accident? And I think we're in one great big giant smash up. I think it's a great metaphor for the two of them. But at least they get to have this scene together that was set up in the diner earlier that they're going to get together. So getting to actually see that on screen for the two of them, I love it. It's just nice. That's all.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add other than like them stealing a moment for their love.
Love it.
Ed's comments that the music is beautiful, and Norma says, "It's you and me, Ed. You can barely hear us," which I think is wonderful.
What a great line.
All right, so we're going to jump over to another place to party. This is the Power and the Glory. Buck and Tommy drive the girls to Canada.
I have in my notes, these fucking guys. I don't ever want to see them again, but we get them again. Get them driving there. Laura takes the bump while staring at Donna the whole time.
Yeah.
So she gets the bump offered to her, and she's just taking that there. Donna refuses it, and the way that Laura just like reacts, like screams at her, "What a downer you are!" This is so painful, especially after the scene that we have of the two of them just wanting a friend and all of that, and the way that she is pushing her away, which is all stuff that we see in the diary as well. She tries to push people away, and also medicating herself. I think it's so much clearer there with that context too. When they finally get to the bar, they're pulling into the parking lot, and we get the line of lumber trucks rolling by. I thought it was a really cool shot.
That's great.
Just like 3 or 4 of them coming through. It was really cool. I love that. They come in. The bartender knows Laura by name, which is really depressing.
Dennis.
Really depressing. So depressing.
She was just hitchhiking there the other day.
Dennis knows her. So it's in the back of the place, and you see we get what does it say? The Canada and the US of fucking A across the top on a big sign, and then on the sign of the door, it's the Power of the Glory, and they go in, and that's when we get the pink room in the back. But it's just a cool scene. Not one we needed in the film itself, but it's nice to have that connection.
No, not at all. Unless you wanted to see Buck had an earring, so you can see Buck's earring if you were unsure if you had one. I don't know. It's fine.
Yep.
I mean, those guys are just idiots. They're such losers.
Such terrible.
Hold on, I'm choking the farm fed.
Yeah, it's a great line.
Ugh,
I use that all the time. I didn't even know that was in the movie.
I hate these guys. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna jump over to a hotel. Perhaps it was I forget the name of the hotel. That's what now you know I'm tired. Where's the hotel where the one-armed man was staying?
Traveling east on Highway 12, how long will it take us to reach the Timber Falls Motel?
Half an
10
hour.
minutes.
Depends how you go.
You are asking the wrong guy, but for sure it is.
Fire Walk With Me is the next scene. The one-armed man prepares to face Bob.
I love this scene for the reason that we get it all in reverse, and it's the only scene that I could think of that is in reverse that's not in the Red Room or in the lodge at all. So it's just really cool to see him. And it's just a simple effect, but just seeing him unlight all the candles, the 12 candles in a circle, is very cool.
Yeah, to see them going out as opposed to being lit. It's cool. He's sitting on like tile or linoleum. It's a weird floor that he's on, but I don't know everything to add that you didn't talk about.
That's where he was practicing his breakdancing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you probably hurt yourself on that. You need cardboard.
Linoleum's fine too. You can take.
Really? I don't know how you did it. All right, we're gonna go to Party Girl. Party Girl. Leland sets up a date with Teresa. When he chickens out after seeing Laura and Ronette, Teresa realizes that he's Laura's dad, and she tries to blackmail him.
Well, we know that Flesh World has a pretty good circulation in Twin Peaks because we get it here. The way that Leland's talking to Teresa on the phone and stroking the cover of Flesh World as he's looking at it, it's creepy and awesome. Which she says her room is room 123. It's as in Ready, Set, Go. I don't know why. There's something about that. It's just the way that he's like psyching himself up for this at the same time is really
The Red Diamond City Motel too. Red
Diamond. Yeah, you're right. We get Teresa, Ronette, and Laura. They still stay there and party, or presumably are going to party even after Leland leaves them with the cash. And is it Teresa that says, "Looks like it's just us girls"?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when
and
she sits down between the two of them.
Yeah, and the look on Laura's face when she's looking from Ronette to Teresa, to the three of them, I think it's just really cool. So just kind of leaving that little ellipses there for us to fill in. We get Teresa calling Jacques. What does Ronette's father look like? What does Leland Palmer's father look like? And is Jacques kind of catching on to something going on here for sure? Because we see that in the film later that she was asking all about this. Yeah.
Right. He mentions it. I don't necessarily think he's connecting it to either parent, either dad.
But he's just filing that away for later for sure, though, because Jacques is a schemer, man.
Yeah, it's an odd question, so yeah, he's gonna let them know about it.
Yeah.
A year later. I mean, it's enough that he remembered it a year later.
It's true. And whenever Teresa calls Leland and says, "It's your party, girl," kind of letting him know that she knows who he is, you can just see, again, man, Ray Wise, you could see Bob coming out in his face as his jaw sets, and it's just like his face completely just drops and changes into Bob's face. God, he's good. It's just so evident, and it's so slow and obvious the way that happens. I love it.
And in the way the movie's structured or set up, it's like he sees Laura, he walks away, kind of, and then you get the grandson, and it's like that's the moment this is more like literally he's now going to be found out because she's blackmailing him. She's calling him up.
Yep.
He knows that she knows exactly who he is. And by the way, if you're trying to hide your identity, don't say you're coming from Twin Peaks. Get a map. Like, leave that detail out, maybe, Leland. Not that you should be continuing your crimes, but, you want to keep that one to yourself.
It's true.
I love the, what did I love?
All of it.
Teresa's, like, such a striking actress. She looks like a Hitchcock heroine, especially in the way that this is shot with the colors and the angles, and just her whole being is very much like a Hitchcock leading lady for me. I'm glad we get more Flesh World. We didn't get enough Flesh World, and here Flesh World's back if you've forgotten.
Yeah, if you want to make sure you collect all of them, this is another one to put into your stash. I just wanted to agree like 1,000% with how not only beautiful she is as Teresa, but just the attitude and self-assuredness. She reminds, like, Hitchcock, when you say that, that's a perfect metaphor for her, I think. She also gives me like this younger Patricia Arquette vibes as well. It's just like that sort of like self-assured confidence sort of thing, as well as just being strikingly beautiful in this. It's terrific.
She's a great actress for a noir. So,
yeah.
The moment that stands out to me is like, okay, so after he's like, hey, he's leaving, but we got the money. And then Laura sees the ring. And after she sees the ring, like, she's lit by like this warm, foggy light. And you hear that Tibetan bowl ring that you hear like when Cooper goes into his dreams, and we hear it when he was approaching Glastonbury Grove. And like that sound is just coming up in the sound mix. Kind of interesting. And then we hear the sound of what seems like Bob. I'm not sure if it's Bob or not, but you hear like kind of a hint of a voice that's kind of creeping in there, which is very cool.
I didn't catch that. That's cool.
She's fidgeting her with the ring as well when she's talking to him, which is kind of cool when you think about the ring is why you're going to get killed. But yeah, she's like playing with it before she's talking to Jacques, and she's kind of nervously fidgeting with it before she calls her back. Okay. We're going to jump over to Don't Forget Laura's Secret Stash. It's Johnny Horn's birthday. And Laura's out of cocaine.
I mean, it's just, we don't get to see him, but like all the hits, we get Johnny Horn back in the reference to this, which is great.
We'll drop in a mention. There would have been a Johnny Horn's birthday party scene as well.
I think it's fine that we didn't get it. That's the other missing pieces, maybe. That's cool. Leland says, "Don't forget, it's Johnny Horn's birthday." And as he leaves, Sarah and Laura are sitting at the dining table, and Sarah just kind of mimics him a little bit. Don't forget, Johnny Horn's birthday. Like, just kind of like a little joke sort of thing. It's just another one of these nice little moments. I don't know if there's more to it that I'm missing, but just like felt like a nice little moment to that. get Laura up there in her room with her public secret diary that has the key in it, and she has the baggie that we get to see later in the show itself, and she's got the pen cap, the red pen, and dip it in there and trying to get to the bottom of every last nook and cranny in there.
One interesting thing with the diary, so the diary looks blue to me, and her public-facing diary is kind of this navy blue, and her secret diary is red. That's where the secrets and the darkness are in the red diary, and the other world's diary is blue, two worlds, red and blue.
Great.
But it's cool that they have the exact, it's the same diary. I assume it's the same prop that's in the pilot. And it's the Jerry or the Johnny Horn scene that's missing. Yes, but also that means we don't get any Ben. Like it would be great to see a Ben at some point. I'm not sure if that was ever shot. I believe he's in the script. So was Jerry, but we don't get either of them. But it's fine. All right. So we're gonna go over to Bernie the Mule. This is Truman, so get a little Harry Truman action, is pulling the boys off Jacques, and he's setting up a trap for Bernie.
Yeah, he says, was it Hawk that says, Joey says that, whatever, Bernie's on the move. So presumably Joey Paulson. Yeah,
Joey Paulson gets a mention.
Again, we get all of the hits here. It's just a lot of fan service, which I am absolutely here for. So they're setting up that trap for Bernie. We got Andy with the vacant stare. Man, again, with this just like holding things uncomfortably long as Andy's just looking at Harry, and then there's reverse shot on Harry and just like slightly pushes in on him, but still no words. And then Harry's like, I guess you're thinking that it's a lot of ground to cover or whatever. It's so funny. Just like,
I like how Hawk steps in and he's like, I'll be on it. Like, he's like, I'm following this very basic set of instructions while Andy is just struggling.
Someone's got to say something. I'm glad Hawk jumped in there to break that up. But again, it's so hard to read Harry about how he really feels about Andy. I don't know. Gotta love him, but also I can imagine just how frustrated he is with him. But anyway, it's just a strange little scene to have. But we got Joey Paulson, so that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to jump over to the next scene. I killed someone. Bobby gives Laura $10,000 for her safe deposit box, and the money drug scenario marches on.
Yep. So this is the $10K that we get later in the show with the safe deposit box. Cool to see how that comes up. Now, they're in school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the drug deal gone wrong in the woods has happened, but Laura's still doing that kind of messed up, like she's still drunk, still really drunk and high, right? But it's the next day, because that was middle of the night apparently, because they were supposed to meet at midnight-ish, right? And meet him. So, wow, she can put it away, or she never stopped. I guess maybe she just keeps going, partying. Yeah. And she still does that voice of, "Did you kill Mike?" Which is just great to get more of that because it's so funny and also creepy and horrible at the same time. And then Bobby saying, "I killed somebody," and the look on her face when she sees Bobby's reaction to this, like she's got like the wide eyes, like maybe she's almost a little bit scared, or maybe it's actually like breaking through and she's realizing like the consequences of things, but she's just so however many sheets to the wind at this point.
This scene definitely needed to be cut. When you try to think of, again, the timeline is different in the movie, but coming off of that Monday and into the Tuesday is when she breaks up with James. Like it's the tension and the pain and the spiraling of Laura is getting more and more serious. So to have like the drunk early morning Laura like it doesn't work. Just doesn't fit in with the thing. And it's like a lot of work just to tie that. That's why I got to talk to Bob Engles, because they go out of their way to talk about the amount of money. Like the $10,000, yes, we're going to connect that to the thing. And then literally a scene with Mike saying, there's only half in here. We owe him $5,000. And then Leo saying $5,000, but yet the show is saying $20,000. So they're like going out of their way to like add the detail just to send me a message, I guess.
They're rubbing it in your face, clearly.
Yeah, right. I'm sure it's nothing. It's just it's fun. All right, so we're gonna go to baby laxative. That's the name of this little section. Deputy Cliff wasn't only going to kill Bobby, he was going to make some babies poop. What? Did I really write that? Yes.
You really did write that. That's great.
Yes, I did. Apologies.
Loved. So after going through all that and killing a guy, well, at least let's take a taste and see how good the goods are. And the goods ain't good. And Bobby freaking out and throwing it all around, getting all covered in the baby laxative and just freaking out and making things worse is terrific. It's perfect, Bobby. It's a great little scene.
Yeah. And again, it's just to show that, like, they really need that Coke, and they're now out of Coke. But he has the $10,000. He only owes Leo $5,000. He's not really in a stressed out position, not as much as Laura, who seems to be much more of a drug addict than Bobby is.
For
and
sure.
Bobby still, Bobby's not a drug addict because he still has drugs.
Right.
He still has a private stash that he's going to give Laura in a little bit. So this is also a scene that's, like, cool to see, but, that's all fine.
Yep.
We don't need to. He does the old cut the bag of Coke trick and take a sniff, which you can't. You're going to spill Coke all over when you're trying to move it.
Yeah.
Stop cutting it.
Yeah.
You just unfold it a little bit and make sure you keep the tape so you can close it again. People always with the knife cutting the Coke up. All right, send me a kiss is the next scene. Dr. Jacobe calls Laura.
Yeah, we got Jacobe in his Hawaiian office. Missed that. Nice to see that again. And Laura's she's in no place to have this conversation with Jacobe. She's so stressed out, cannot deal with him at all.
No. And this is the night Leland's going to come in, and she's got to deal with freaking Jacobe on a red phone, by the way. If you're keeping track of colors, he's on the red phone.
Yeah. And we got the red and blue glasses on Jacobe, of course. Maybe I'll make you a tape tomorrow. So that is the tape that they uncover later, right?
Some of this stuff feels a little bit like we got to connect it to the pilot. Like, yes, we know the last day that she was alive, she sends a tape to Jacobe.
Hey, what's up, Doc? It's Laura, in case you haven't guessed. It's Thursday the 23rd, and I'm so bored.
And his coconut, all that stuff. So it's like, she's like, yeah, I'll do it. This is a Wednesday. I'll record it tomorrow so we know it would have happened. It's okay.
I kind of like it. Yeah.
It's cool, but it doesn't, with all of the momentum of the movie, I can't imagine this scene preceding Bob coming in.
Absolutely. This missing piece is great for all the fan service that doesn't need to be in the film, and I'm glad to have it again, but like it does not matter. Fine, connect the dots. Let's, paint by numbers and get all the pieces together for the pilot. Good to have it. Glad it wasn't in the film. That's cool. So grossed out by the send me a kiss and how nervous and desperate he is when he says it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Like maybe he's a little drunk at his Mai Tai or whatever, and he finally gets up the courage to say that. But like, oh God, it's just, again, Laura, just like the look on her face, the way I read it, she's just realizing him too. Like I can't trust anyone.
Everybody wants him.
And just being, no matter what, just being crushed again and again and again by everyone around her. Yeah, it's just so upsetting for her.
All right, so Asparagus. In our long list of connecting things to the pilot, here comes Asparagus. Laura has asparagus for dinner again.
Diane, I just opened Laura Palmer's diary. This is the last entry dated February 23rd. It reads, asparagus for dinner again. I hate asparagus. Does this mean I'll never grow up? And then
this is a great line. Asparagus for dinner again. I hate asparagus. Does this mean I'll never grow up? Is one of the best lines ever written. So I can see why you'd have a scene.
All right, so Eric's here for the movies. That's cool.
It's exactly where it needs to be in the missing pieces.
Yep. So Leland is staying late to help Ben. Of course he is. Where are we in the timeline? Do you know where this is
This is the last night of her life. This is all, and again, makes sense with the show. Not only the asparagus line, but Leland was at Ben Horn's. Remember, he calls her from Ben Horn's office. It's part of that thing. We have a call from Ben Horn's office to Laura the night she died.
Coop, we found his telephone records. Look at this. The night Laura died. The telephone call Leland told us about. Ben called her number from this office.
Oh man, I did not realize that at all. Okay, yeah, that does make sense. That's cool. Well, All right. I like connecting these dots. Missing Pieces is the perfect place for it. Glad it wasn't in the film. This is maybe the saddest scene.
Oh, Sarah all alone at
for
dinner?
me. Sarah all alone at dinner. Laura has to leave. Leland's not going to be home. She sits there. She grabs her pack of smokes. She's got a very healthy glass of wine there, and just sitting there all alone. It just feels so crushing. And it feels like she kind of has to be left alone with her thoughts about everything that's going on. So she's both alone in the house, but has all the things that are going on in that house that maybe she has to doesn't have anything to distract her from to kind of contemplate. Yeah, it's just rough. I just have in my notes here. I love Grace Zabriskie. I mean, this is just amazing.
She's the best. She's an amazing actress.
Love this.
You know who else is an amazing actress? Cheryl Lee, who's going to be in Bobby's basement. So Bobby and Laura in the basement is the name of this chapter. The Briggs family gather for a little light Bible reading while Laura hits their son up for more coke.
Yep. So I guess we qualify again as, well, maybe it's a deleted scene, but extended scene for sure in the basement. We got Garland reading aloud from the Bible. We find out it's the book of Revelations, if you can pick out some of the lines that he's saying, as Betty sits there on the sofa next to him listening, doing needlepoint. The most wholesome thing in the world.
I have the lines if you want to know what he says.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what he's saying.
So this is the quote from Revelations, as Dan said. "And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the God of earth. If any man will hurt them, fire proceeded out of their mouth. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascenders out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them."
Wow.
That's it. So you got some fire talk, lots of doubles, 2s, 2
yep.
candlesticks.
Room 123.
Yeah.
As well. I don't know, just saying. What 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's I love that. Crazy little light reading for the 2 of them.
Yeah. It looks like Betty's not listening though.
Oh, I thought she was.
I think she's maybe in her own lost in thoughts. That's my reading on that.
She just had a nice smile on her face. I thought she was just kind of from the Bible, the Book of Revelation, man. Really? Of all things. But that's cool. So we got that. So Laura shows up. It goes down to the basement where Bobby belongs, huh? Wink, wink. So they go down to the basement. Bobby's laying down on the sofa and kind of knows how kind of fucked he is with the money that he owes or the drugs that he owes and all of this. So it adds so much more to context to the scene than we get to actually have in the film. Not saying it's necessary, but it's cool to actually get that extra context here.
And I would say because we know he's got $10,000 and he owes Leo $5,000, it's not so much the money as it is the cocaine.
Yeah.
Because the cocaine is his only way of holding on to Laura.
Okay, that's the 10,000, of course. He has the money, so that's available.
It's the only thing he has to offer her, and he knows, and he's...
Well, we say it explicitly here, right?
He says it explicitly, but that's what it really is in my head.
So we get all of this context, and Bobby's kissing her before she says, not tonight. So, which we get in the film. So there's just a lot more to this, which I think is really nice. Just something that I think I mentioned this when we were talking about the film previously, but how much the diary really colors her addiction and why she's self-medicating. You just don't get that as much in the film, and I think you get maybe a little bit more of it in the missing pieces, but it just feels like such important context to see that she's, not that drug addiction is any small thing in and of itself, but the reason that she does this, to keep Bob at bay, to try to keep herself from, becoming his victim again. She's medicating. That's why she's so desperate for the drugs. It's not just that she's an addict, in just, the plain medical sense of it. Is that she is terrified that if she doesn't have it, she knows is going to happen to her with Bob.
Yeah.
So we got that. When she does say, I mentioned this whenever she says, Bobby asks, "Where are you going?" She says, "I'm going home." And I read it as a dual meaning of going home to to death to the White Black Lodge, whatever. She was kind of giving in. But in this the line goes on, I'm going home to my bed, my nice warm bed. So it really, whatever. I'm still going to take the reading that's in the film anyway, but it's nice to have there was actually more to it than that. And just the fact that all he wants to do is screw her, and she needs the blow. So everyone wants something from her, and she knows how to manipulate the people that she needs things from. So it's just this, like, you know, parasitic or whatever, fucked up symbiotic relationship that she has with people around her. But she gets what she needs from him and her little round friends too. So she gets the pills as well as the coke.
Yeah, which is like the pills I think we see. Like when she's partying, it's like you get to see where they came from. Probably speed.
Yep. And then finally, the two of them go up, and Bobby walks her out, and we get Bobby lighting up in the kitchen, and just Garland saying, "Robert, put out the cigarette," and he goes right back to reading the Bible again, which is great.
Bobby just walks away as well. He's not even listening to him. This is the last time Bobby will see his girlfriend alive, which isn't something to think about. Let's see. You said, I think, most of this stuff, right? Bobby needs his $10,000 back, which you talked about. He can't get it till Friday. He's got to pay Leo that $5,000, which is going to become $20,000. I like watching her leave, and you get to see, like, it's stupid, but you get to see their kitchen. You get to see, like, the house is like a real house that a real kid lives in with his real weird parents, and they feel much more like kids having scenes with kids and their own parents.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. We do get a number of scenes with kids and their parents at Twin Peaks, but there's something about that dynamic and that relationship that makes it, because a lot of times at Twin Peaks, they feel like they're adults. They're not going to school anymore. They're just off doing whatever, especially as this show goes on. So here it feels very much like, fuck you, Dad, I'm going in the basement relationship that you would have with your father, which I like.
Yeah, I think that's a good point about this. Does feel more like a real house because, you know, having watched the show and, you know, it's filmed for television, it's not as though it reads as a set, like it does read as real homes and everything, but the quality of the film makes everything feel more real and more lived in. It does feel more authentic. Like you're just dropped into people's house.
It's the difference between shooting, you know, on a closed set or versus on location for these house shots and stuff. Cool. The quote I was looking for before, what is the world coming to when you kill a guy for baby laxative?
Because this is a great line.
Great line. All right, so we're going to jump over to the next scene. Good night, Lucy. Lucy tells Truman that Josie needs help, and Andy scares her.
I mean, we needed a classic Lucy scene, so we got it. We got Andy and Truman down in the basement interrogation room. Lucy is on the intercom, which she has to let them know that she's on the intercom so they don't get freaked out, not knowing where the voice is coming from. She lets the sheriff know that Josie heard what sounds like a prowler outside her house, which has got to be a wink, wink, because he's heading over to her house, right, to meet up.
Yes, this is how they cover their affair.
Yeah.
Yes.
But to Lucy, you know, it's raccoons again. Just like the last time, it was a raccoon, and how she just goes into this long story or starts the story about, you know, the raccoon and someone that she knows, blah, blah, and getting so startled about how did you get up here when Harry walks by. They just make her so dumb.
She's in a confused panic and then freaks out when she sees Andy.
I'm very confused. Who am I talking to? And then she goes up and starts looking around, and Andy comes in, and both of them scream. I don't know. I love Lucy, but they just, and Andy as well, but they just make them so unbelievably stupid. It just breaks my heart a little bit.
All right, I don't have anything to say about this. All right, so we're going to jump over to Waiting for James is the name of the scene. One thing, I guess I will jump back. It is also just so strange to not have a Truman and Josie scene. You keep seeing Truman, but he's never with the woman he loves. All right. Waiting for James. Leland's home from work, and he nearly catches Laura sneaking out.
Now, this is a scene I wouldn't have minded in the film. I really like this. It's so scary. It's so creepy. So we get Leland. It's all in the dark. Laura's sneaking out. She's hiding in the bushes as she sees Leland coming up. She's just waiting for, like, willing James to show up already. But we get Leland walking up, and does he see her? Does he not? Does he see that she's hiding out in the bushes? So he has, twice there he walks up and stares in her direction at the very least, but I think he sees her. And then, because he goes so slowly walking up the sidewalk to the stairs, just prolonging the whole thing. I love this. It's so tense and scary. And then finally he goes inside. And then from the film, we don't get it here, but, he's looking out the window and sees her, which I just assumed that he was looking from his bedroom window for some reason. I don't know why I thought that, but I guess he's looking for.
Yeah, in the movie, we see him looking out the window. But you don't get any of this.
But we get this whole piece coming up to this, but it's cool. It's just a nice scene to have anyway.
Either way works, but it also is an extra detail that I think you do get with just him looking out, because you don't have the scene that says he's not at home and now he's not at home, and then you also have this thing feels like a little strange. But in this context, like seeing him look at her and her look at him and knowing this is the evening of the morning she confronted him. This is that same day. So they've already had this confrontation, and here they are facing down each other again, and she's going to run and hope that he doesn't see her.
And he's the entire time, just to be clear, he is Bob right now. It's terrific. Yeah.
Maybe he's always Bob. All right. So the next chapter is called Distance Screams. Or is it Distant Screams or Distance Screams? And I mistyped
I think it's Distant. Yeah.
Distant Screams. I don't want to get it wrong, Mr. Lynch. All right. Margaret hears the sadness in the woods.
Oh, God. Margaret, she had to hear all of what was happening. And she seems to know, what it means. Again, this is such a small part. I wouldn't have minded if they kept this as well. She only had that one other scene, so it would have been nice to sense. I don't think it would have made a lot of sense to keep it, but I still love this. We get that look on her face as she knows what's going on, and it just brings to mind whenever we see, was it Cooper's Dreams, the episode when Hawk, Harry, Doc, and Andy go out in the woods and they meet Margaret in the woods.
Yeah, this is the story that she tells them.
So it is the full story there. So I had to go back and rewatch that scene so I could see exactly what it was. What did you see that night? And she talks to the log. But the owls were near. Two people, leave. Anyway, the whole thing. But now we get to see that happening from her point of view as well, which I think is really great. So not a scene we needed to keep in the movie. So glad that we got to have it here.
It's a great scene. It's a beautiful scene.
Love it.
Her crying. It's emotional. Thinking about where it would have fallen in that build up at the end to then cut to this, because you hear the thing going on. I think it was the right move. All right. So we're going to go another very short scene. Lonesome foghorn blows. Laura's body washes up.
Yeah, nothing to say for me except I love that the shot itself and hearing that foghorn, which we get from the pilot as well. It just I love that visual. It's only a few seconds long, but it's really nice.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's neat. And then we go to the oil, and we see the curtains reflected as we're gonna jump into the title sequence some months later for our epilogue.
Yeah,
which Annie is brought to the hospital. The man from another place talks to Cooper about the ring, and someone new gets it. The bad Cooper is struck by something funny.
Was not expecting any of this. Some months later, I just did not see any of this coming. So this is pretty cool. So we get, after the season 2 finale, we get Annie repeating the lines that Laura sees her in her dream. So it gets her just in this kind of trance state talking to Laura. So the number of exclamation points I have in my notes is not to be believed. So that's cool. Annie has the ring on, and the nurse sees it, makes sure that she's completely out of it, and takes the ring. So we get another victim coming here.
I don't know if you noticed, she's wearing Caroline's outfit as she is in Laura's dream, but not the black dress that she's wearing when she's found in episode 29.
So I did not clock that.
She's dressed differently, for whatever that's worth.
Craziness. That's very cool. Thank you for pointing that out. Did not realize. I literally said, oh shit, out loud whenever the nurse put the ring on.
Yeah. It's an interesting choice. Okay, who is this person? Why are they getting the ring? It would not have stuck with Annie, but I guess, who is that nurse?
Yeah. By taking the ring off of Annie's finger, does that protect her now? Like she's not wearing it? Yeah.
I think so. I believe if you wear the ring,
Yeah.
you get killed and you get sent to the Black Lodge. Personally. Now it's been taken from her. This other person will be killed and sent there at some point, but we'll find out.
Then we go to the Red Room. We get the pedestal, but this time there's no ring on the pedestal. Where's the ring? So a difference from what we've seen before. Someone else has it now. Great stuff.
One note on that part, that bit of scripting is probably the most straightforward The Man from Another Place has ever been. Cooper saying, "Where's the ring?" Someone else has it now. Like
nothing cryptic.
Just like the straight dialogue. Yes, it's not we come from pure air.
Right.
It's someone else got it. So this other woman picked it up. Every once in a while, these entities can be like, "Oh yeah, it's at Leo's place. You got to go back to Leo's place."
That's right.
You're gonna find some cocaine in the shoe.
Oh man. He just didn't have it in him to come up with something cryptic. Or maybe the rules, for whatever reason, the magical rules that we don't know about allowed him to say this. So Cooper's Annie. Then he asks, like you said before, how can I leave? You are here. There is no place to go but home. And then the laugh and the dance. Oh my God. It was just so scary and creepy. And like we know later what's gonna happen, but like, man, just that's a great way to kind of end this portion of it as well.
And this is where that line home comes in, which, if you remember the episode 29 script, Cooper asked, "Where am I?" And the desk clerk said, "Home."
No, that's true.
And Laura, with Laura's line of home that you pointed out for the Fire Walk With Me thing, and like home as the Black Lodge, whatever, is interesting. So you can find little pieces of that script making their way back into this world.
And then we get a little extended scene of the bad Cooper back in the Great Northern in his hotel bathroom. How's Annie? And he's on he puts himself on the floor whenever they're going to come in. He says, I slipped and hit my head on the mirror. The glass broke, my head struck it. It struck me as funny. Harry, do you understand me? It struck me as funny. Oh, God, it's so good. This stuff is great. I don't know, man.
Yeah, then just going to black and then just creamed corn credits. Just
cream corn on the spoon with the electric light flickering the whole time. It's great. What a good ending. I was, again, like I said, I was not expecting anything that was after the events of the Fire Walk With Me, let alone the entire series. Like that was just a great little icing on the cake.
Yeah. No, it's nice because it's like you always want to know what happened after, and you get a little bit of it here. And we talked about like that being the good Cooper or trapped in the lodge that's talking to Laura later. And now we're seeing it.
Now we see it for sure. Yeah.
The whole scene. All right. Well, that's the missing pieces. Yeah. I mean, you can watch people have made fan edits of this, cutting it back into Fire Walk With Me. For my money, you can't beat Fire Walk With Me. I really wouldn't change a thing. But it's nice to have this, and I'm grateful for having this. But fan edits are neat when you can see some of these scenes as they may have fallen in place. But it's up to you. Your mileage may vary. Sometimes fan edits are not great, but you can find them.
No, you're totally right, though. Like you said, as we were pointing out, like, oh, I wish this scene was kind of in there. But then when you start talking about it, it's like, well, if you put this scene in, then you're also going to have to put this other scene in. Otherwise, you start falling down this, like, oh, all the dominoes that have to kind of stack up to fall in the right order.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me is perfect as it is. And it is. So I'm with you.
100%. Because I would have loved to see that scene with her, with Doc Hayward, and Doc Hayward saying your angels are going to come back. But then if you were to put that in, that's probably something I would have put in and then it's too sentimental. Like it also, like, it's wonderful the way you get hit with that angel. If it had been telegraphed before and then you were like, that's just like Doc, like, I don't know if it wouldn't be as strong as it works on its own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great stuff. I just am so impressed by the editing to look at all of these things and to know exactly which ones to pick and which ones to leave off.
Yeah, I mean the phrase of like kill your darlings, like it must have been so hard. It's like, I love this piece. This is so great. This is so useful. But saying like, but it doesn't work for the greater picture of what I'm trying to tell later. It's wonderful.
And speaking of gifts, the next thing we're doing in 2 weeks from now, is the return. So we're on the last 18 hours of Twin Peaks. No, we're not. I'm sorry. We have to do the Secret History of Twin Peaks.
Back up.
So in a week from now, then we're doing the Secret History of Twin Peaks by Mark Frost. Then we're doing the return. And then we're doing what's the other book?
The Final Dossier?
The Final Dossier. Yeah. My brain is broken. But yeah, so okay.
I have that one, but I have the brand new stuff for me too.
I believe both audiobooks are on Spotify, I think, for people that have accounts. Yeah, it's a big book. So that's what we're doing, and then we're doing the return. So until next time,
bye.
See ya. Thank you for listening to the Meanwhile podcast with Dan Johnson and Eric Grissom. If you would like to support the Meanwhile podcast, join our Patreon. It's available right now. You can sign up, and for just a few dollars a month, you can keep this show going, and you can get access to some exclusive podcasts and some secret stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else. So if you'd like to join, go to ericgrissom.com/meanwhile and look for the Patreon link. If you like our show, please consider rating and reviewing the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're hearing this now. Meanwhile is produced by Eric Grissom and Where's My Robots. The Meanwhile theme song is written and performed by Paul Finn and Evening Pines. If you want to let us know what you thought of the show, you can reach Dan at danjnj.com, both on the web and on Blue Sky. Eric can be found on Blue Sky at ericgrissom.com, which is also his website. It's also me, right? That's weird. We'll see you again, and in the meantime, be good.
Listen to the sounds.
Meanwhile.